Welcome to the OneTake Halloween Spooktacular. I'm Gil, and I'll be your master of ceremonies for the evening. I'm joined by my brother Adam. You might recognize him from live streams like the Better Call Saul watch party. And of course, my tech guy / brother, Alun.
Yo!
Very scary, Alun. That was good.
Yeah.
Getting into the Halloween spirit. Anyway, it's really hard to breathe in this thing, so I'm going to take this off. And reveal that it's been me the entire time.
Oh, put it on. Put it back.
Right. So what do we got going on tonight, Adam?
It's Halloween.
That's right, my favorite of holidays. Would you say Halloween's your favorite holiday?
I say that, but some years I don't celebrate it as much as I'd like to.
Yeah. Alon, what about you? Favorite holiday?
Yeah, it's up there. I like
It's
Thanksgiving,
Halloween
though.
or Thanksgiving, yeah.
A lot of food, you know.
When you were a kid, how did you feel about Halloween? Did you love trick-or-treating?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It was the best thing ever.
Did any of you ever participate? We probably talked about this already. Anybody here participate in Mischief Night?
Our mom once let me TP our own tree.
That's right. Yeah. And then she got really mad at you afterwards.
Well, it was part of the experience.
No candy this year.
Yeah.
Alon, what about you? Any mischief? Ever get into any mischief?
One time, yeah.
Yeah?
Threw a little bit of toilet paper.
Where?
Don't say.
It's like I was in the bathroom.
Don't say anybody's names, but who did you vandalize? Who's home?
It was near a school, some trees.
Wow.
And then we were walking around town, and some cops came up to us and asked us if we were up to anything bad. And luckily, we had already
You
finished.
kids look like you're up to no good.
So yeah, it was barely any.
Did you get juvie? Did you any time?
Yeah, mentally.
By the way, applause to Alun, who set up a lot of the tech here. Check this out. We got Night of the Living Dead. If you kind of squint, you can faintly see Night of the Living Dead playing behind us.
Public domain.
Yeah, throughout the... You know why it's public domain?
They messed up when they were filing for copyright or something.
Not even that. They forgot to put the little C in the movie credits.
Really?
That was it. Back then, you had to put the little C, or else the copyright didn't count. And they
Don't forget to
do it.
put that in this video.
Oh, shoot. And what were we talking about?
Halloween
Night.
mischief.
That's right, Halloween mischief. I never got into any mischief, but I was thinking tonight, we get out a little GoPro, let's go around the neighborhood and just...
Mischief Night Live.
Yeah.
Well, we missed it. It was last night.
Oh, darn.
You know, it's not called Mischief Night throughout all of America. There's different names for it.
I was just going to say that. I wonder if we should ask throughout the evening as others join the live stream, in your part of the country or world, what do they call Mischief Night?
I forget what the other names are for
Should
it.
we look it up? That could be our first Halloween trivia of the evening.
Yeah.
By the way, Halloween. You want to hear a demon too?
Yeah.
Hey, hold on, get your headphones on.
Oh, sorry.
You're not hearing any of this great stuff. You know, we've had ambient Halloween music going this whole time.
It's really bone rattling.
Yeah, I haven't really felt the Halloween spirit this year at all until this very moment. And the previous Halloween live stream we did.
True.
Listen, this is great. This sounds almost like Christmassy too.
I go to sleep to this.
Oh, you know what? I love the movie Nightmare Before Christmas. That's fun.
I thought I did, and then I rewatched it last year, and I don't remember why exactly, but I remember watching it and thinking, like, aesthetically, it looks great.
Bet you thought the acting wasn't so good.
I didn't buy it. It just didn't feel very realistic to me.
I just like the fusion of the two holidays. They get you feeling both holiday spirits.
That's right. And that's probably my other favorite holiday, which don't let my mother hear that, but Christmas would be my other favorite holiday. So you combine the two, it's just fantastic. Oh no, what about you? You said Halloween's up there. What else? Top 3 holidays.
Christmas.
Christmas, Boxing Day.
Thanksgiving.
Flag Day.
Oh,
In the chat, if you're watching this in the chat, let us know, what's your favorite holiday? If it's not Halloween, get out of here.
Yeah.
You don't belong here.
Then come back.
Yeah, then come back.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we got on tap for this evening? We got fun sounds. What was that? It says kill you. We got some name that tune we'll be doing later.
Thunder.
And we've got, oh no, I pushed too many buttons at once. Oh. And we've got this is a never before released in America Super Nintendo game, a haunted Super Nintendo game. It's supposed to be one of the creepiest games ever. It's very story driven, and we're going to play it. You're going to see us play it. You can join in and follow the story with us, and we'll see if we survive the night. So I think this game is like The Ring. You play this game, 7 days later, you get a visit from, what's her name, Alon?
Saint Nick.
Samara. The girl from the well with the hair in front of her face. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get a visit
I watched
from
the
Samara.
Japanese version of that.
Ringu. Mm-hmm. It got so popular in Japan. The Ring in Japan and The Grudge, so popular they did a Grudge versus Ring movie, much like Jason versus Freddy. And we have Elizabeth G in the chat. Welcome to the chat.
And she says, not American, so not into Halloween. I didn't know it was American only.
Wow.
But I do like horror movies.
American education
well, you know
system
what,
right there.
Elizabeth, you're going to get the full Halloween experience here tonight.
That's right. This is pretty much what Halloween looks like in America. Elizabeth, what are some of your favorite horror movies? Let us know in the chat. I'm going to guess some of them. I bet you The Shining is up there. Ringu. Classic.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street's a good one. My favorite Nightmare on Elm Street is, I always forget what, Alon, tech guy. What's the name of the Nightmare on Elm Street movie where Freddy crosses over into the real world? This is such a cool movie. Where
Real Nightmare? No, Silent Nightmare.
I think it's Freddy's final night. Ellen's going to look it up. But basically, it takes place in the real world. The actress from the original movie plays herself. Freddy's escaping from the movies into the real world. Wes Craven, who directed the night... What is it called? The movies, the Freddy...
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. The Wes Craven, who directed the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, plays himself. And he sits here and he says, my creation is coming to life. And it was a pretty cool movie.
You know what I think is, for me personally, the essence of like a good horror setting or premise is something that feels unstoppable.
Right.
So I used to be really into zombie movies, and part of the fear factor of that was there's just, in the end, there's nothing you can do. They're just going to keep replicating, and even if they're slow and weak, eventually there's just too much of them and they overcome you. There's nothing you can do to completely get away from it.
Creeping, inevitable dread. By the way, zombies. Oh, zombies are coming.
It's the inevitable feeling, and the same is true with something like Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like
that's right.
You have to sleep. There's no, especially me.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
I had to wake him up to do this live stream. No joke.
That's true. I got up out of my coffin and I went just right downstairs and started recording.
That's right. Alon, you've got the name of the movie.
Yes. So I'll read a little sentence here.
Okay.
Although it is the 7th installment in the A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, it is not part of the same continuity as previous films.
Because it takes place in the real world.
Instead, portraying Freddy Krueger as a fictional movie villain who invades the real world and haunts the cast and crew involved in the making of the films about him. So that's A Nightmare on Elm Street 7, New Nightmare.
New Nightmare. We knew the word nightmare.
That's right. I knew Nightmare was going to be in there somewhere.
You knew New Nightmare.
I knew New Nightmare. That was a very cool movie. It actually wasn't that great when I think back on it, but really cool concept.
That's true for a lot of horror movies.
One of my favorite horror movies of all time, I've got to say, It Follows.
That's a good one.
That was a classic. And what was so cool about that movie was the weird mixture of time periods. It looked like it took place in the 80s, but then that little girl had the little...
like clamshell phone thing.
Yeah,
it looked like a makeup mirror.
It looked like a Kindle or something, and she used it to read her ebooks.
Yeah.
And I think that was unsettling in the same way The Shining, where the house, the hotel in that movie was constructed in a way that physically didn't actually work. Like characters would walk behind a stairwell and there'd be no exit, but somehow they'd show up somewhere else. And I don't think consciously you pick up on it, but subconsciously it just unsettles you. And I think It Follows did the same thing by just melding time periods. You watch it, you can't really quite tell, is this 20 years ago, is it today, is it the future? And unconsciously, I think that's unsettling.
Yeah, definitely.
Solid point.
For
myself.
I also really like the music in that movie.
Yes. I still listen. I would listen to that soundtrack just for fun. You know?
On repeat as you go to bed.
Over and over. And Nashua in the chat says The Exorcist, one of his favorite movies. Exorcist is a classic.
I love just the idea of exorcism. The idea of possession and exorcism is that's unsettling. And the crazy thing is, people think it happens in real life.
Yeah.
And now, even if it doesn't actually happen, things close enough to it do happen that it inspired the idea.
And it's just so cool to think there are exorcists out there. There are people in the real world, and OneTake does not officially take a position on whether or not exorcism is real. Right?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, people do it. They perform the act. I just don't know if it does anything.
You hear that? So the profession exists, and that's so cool. When we were watching by the way, a few shout outs in the chat here. Elizabeth G, one of her favorite horror movies is Fright Night with the late Anton Yelchin. Had comedy and horror very underrated. I don't think I've seen
I haven't
Fright
seen
Night.
it. But funny you should mention that, because just like a week ago, I was reading Anton Yelchin's Wikipedia, and it still kind of feels unreal, first of all, that he's no longer with us, and also, it's not like I was super attached to him as an actor or something. He's very young, and his circumstances of death were so unusual.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. He brought this up the other day, and it's unsettling to hear about that. By the way, Movie Files in the chat says, hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Movie Files? He says, congrats on the 10K subscribers, and happy Halloween.
And anyone watching this, if you're not subscribed to Movie Files, you definitely should be, because, first of all, he has a similar taste in content that we do. Covers similar movies and TV shows.
That's right.
Very smart guy, and Gil has collaborated with him in the past.
That's right. He covers similar stuff, and I will say, I think he has about 10 times as much energy as me, because somehow he covers so many shows, and I can't keep up. Yeah. So Movie Files, keep up the great work. I just put the link to Movie Files channel in the chat. Go check it out. I highly recommend it. And we've got to collaborate again. And let's see in the chat here. Vanessa, good to see you. We saw her a lot when we were talking about Better Call Saul.
She's OG.
That's right. What non-horror movies would you guys consider really scary? That's a great question. I don't have an answer off the top of my head for that one, but there definitely are some, right?
There must be. I'm guessing she has some ideas, so I'd like to hear what her thoughts are.
Yeah, Vanessa, let us know your answer to that. Dark Knight. I mean, the Joker's pretty scary, and that's not a horror movie. Even
Silence
Scarecrow.
of the Lambs technically isn't horror, but at one point you see him eating someone's brain while they're alive.
That's true. In Hannibal. Wait, is that what we're talking about?
Silence of the Lambs.
Right. Well, in the sequel to Silence of the Lambs, in Hannibal, he actually feeds a guy his own brains.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay. Yeah.
I feel like that is a horror movie, though. Hannibal.
So growing up, I thought it was horror. Then I watched it and was like, wait, is this horror or thriller?
Psychological thriller?
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line between horror and thriller?
I feel like horror is the umbrella term, the category.
I don't think so, because thriller could be something like with no supernatural elements, no jump scares. It's just like something really intense, action.
You don't think
Somebody say thriller?
You don't think maybe a psychological thriller might be in the horror category?
No, I think thriller is the broad category, and then within that you have horror.
Horror is its own genre.
You'd say horror is separate from thriller?
Yes, I think a thriller can just be a very intense movie.
Man, Vanessa, we need you to clear this up.
You really, you're gonna tear us apart with this question.
You dropped a conversation grenade and then you ran away.
Interesting. Passion of the Christ. So I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
Yeah.
I did a Google search for
it has a zombie
scary non-horror movies, and Nightcrawler was on the list.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's pretty scary. It's disturbing.
Have you seen
here's the thing. I have, yeah.
Okay.
So psychological thrillers are disturbing, but not necessarily horrific.
Right. For example, Insomnia. Nightcrawler. Yeah, that's a Nightcrawler is a good example.
Is Jacob's Ladder?
That's a horror.
That's horror? Okay.
Horror. That is, by the way, for those of you who haven't seen it, you're looking for a horror movie to watch, one you haven't seen before, Jacob's Ladder, terrifying. It's, what's his name? The guy from Shawshank Redemption? Tim, hold on. Look it up.
Yeah, pull that up.
Tim Robbins, right?
Tim Robbins,
Tim Robbins, yeah.
I didn't even finish
that was off the dome.
Wow,
Right
nicely done. Jacob's Ladder, one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So good.
You know what might count as very disturbing? Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, definitely would not call that horror, but it's
not
horrifying.
horror, but
that was also on the list that I
it's
found.
Interesting.
okay.
There you go. See?
Oh, let's go back to that list in a second, but let's run through some of the chat. DJ A Juice Power Source Pro, one of my
like
favorite
that name.
names. That's a
Yeah.
great name. He says, I think first he says,
Power Source is the free edition. Power Source Pro, you got to pay a yearly subscription.
DJ A Juice has paid for the premium subscription. He says, keep up the great work, brother. You too, DJ A Juice Power Source Pro.
And he also said, I think The Exorcist is the most craziest movie.
It was a crazy movie. I don't remember it too well. We watched it years ago, but I do remember thinking, this is a crazy movie.
Yeah.
I think one of the creepiest parts is when she crawls down the stairs, like backwards with all four.
Which I think was not included in the original cut. I think in the original cut, they filmed it, but you could see strings or something, and they didn't have the proper special effects to pull it off, but they put it back in for the director's cut, I think. Oh, and look that up. Elizabeth G says, can't watch the Australian Wolf Creek because I feel like it could happen again.
What is that? Tell us about that. I've
what's-
never heard. Is the movie Wolf Creek and it's Australian, or it's called Australian Wolf Creek?
My theory, based off of Elizabeth G's, I'm not loving this song here. Let me change this. Based off Elizabeth G's comment here, can't
It's the
watch.
same.
It is the same. It's just 2 hours. Elizabeth G says that she can't watch the Australian Wolf Creek because I feel like it could happen again. Doesn't that make it sound like it's based on a true story? And so watching it, she's afraid that the events could occur again.
So that reminds me of the movie Mothman Prophecies.
Yes.
Now that was not a horror movie, but it was, I would say, disturbing, a thriller, and it at least claims to be based on a true story. And as a kid, that scared me really bad.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a tough question in a second. And I'm gonna ask you now so you can prepare. Are ghosts and ghouls and other spooky things, supernatural, are they real, Adam? Don't answer that question. I want you to think about that. Think about it in the chat. Let me know what you think. And I want to run through some of the comments here. Nashwa says, Final Destination, horror thriller, maybe? For me, Final Destination is a thriller. I think it's got to fall in the horror category. They're fighting against death. Literally against death.
But it's death as manifested through just really freak accidents, right?
That's true. You don't see any spooky things. And it's not really... Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it does fall more in the thriller category.
To me, it didn't feel... Well, I remember watching it, and it didn't feel like a horror movie to me. It just felt... Although it did have that sense of, like, it's inevitable. There's this thing coming for you.
Right.
You know what? Maybe the genre, it's a little blurry.
Yeah, that's what we're learning tonight, I think. Things aren't necessarily what they seem. Spooky. Hold on, we asked you to look something up before. I forget what.
Yeah, the spider crawl in The Exorcist.
Yeah.
So I don't really have much to add beyond what you said because you were completely right. The director was not pleased with the appearance with the wires. They didn't really they weren't really able to hide them too well back then. So then they later on with CGI removed
There you go.
the wires,
They brought it
and
back.
restored it.
They George Lucased it. But this
They
time...
replaced all the wires with walkie-talkies.
Movie File says, appreciate the shout out, and we'll definitely have to collab again soon. Go ahead, Alon.
Sorry, I had another interesting thing to say about that scene. Some horror experts argue that the spider walk scene should never have actually been included because it's the only instance where Regan, the girl, leaves her room.
Oh, interesting. I don't know why is that
How do you
bad?
become a horror expert?
Wait, is that what he just said? Horror
Some
expert?
horror experts say this.
Well, you can become an expert in any field, right? Or topic or category.
Yeah, fair. But where did they find these horror experts? I'd like to know. We watched this movie, this Canadian movie last night, Pontypool.
That was a good movie.
It was a good movie. I highly recommend it. And the main character is a radio DJ, so I keep wanting to talk like that. We're here in the bowels of the country, and we are coming to you live from our basement. What are all you cool cats, ghosts, and ghouls up to on this fine All Hallows Eve?
You could do it. I mean, you have the voice.
Yeah?
Maybe let's type what the name of the movie because it's hard to spell.
Oh, yeah. Ponty. How do you spell that?
Pontypool.
Yeah. Guys, I don't want to, guys, gals, ghosts, ghouls, I don't want to spoil anything about this movie. It's one of those movies where it's best to go in knowing nothing about it.
Speaking of movies where you don't want to know anything going in.
Right.
One Cut of the Dead.
Oh,
That's you have to watch that. Don't read a thing about it.
Yeah,
it's a Japanese movie.
If you watch the trailer for One Cut of the Dead, in the trailer itself, it literally says, we don't recommend you even watch this trailer. Spoiler alert. And I agree with them fully. If you want to laugh, if you want to get some spooky vibes, check out One Cut of the Dead. That movie just took me totally by surprise. It was hilarious. And let me finish reading what Movie Files here said. Appreciate the shout out. We'll definitely have to collab again soon. And listen to this part, Adam. This is going to get you going. He says, gotta go. I have a scary man with a Halloween mask and knife slowly chasing after me. Have a great...
I hope he's okay.
Have a great stream, guys. And by the way, I've got a Movie Files coming in on the wire, and he's about to say something. Oh, he's screaming because this guy's coming after him, the Halloween guy.
That sounds a lot like him.
Elizabeth G says, I am a co-vomiter, LOL. So can't stand vomit scenes.
Oh.
I don't have a problem with vomit scenes.
We've actually made vomit scenes before.
That's right. That's true.
Just need ketchup.
And ketchup for vomit. Oh, yeah. That's right.
It depends what you're vomiting.
That's true. If you're vomiting blood.
Let's stop talking about
vomiting. We're gonna lose Elizabeth G if we keep talking about this. And she does confirm, by the way, that Wolf Creek is loosely based on a true story about hitchhikers in the Australian outback.
I love the hitchhiker premise.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
Yeah.
So I'd be down to watch that.
The last half hour of Texas Chainsaw Massacre was that girl just screaming nonstop.
Which is exactly what I would do in her situation.
Yeah, very realistic.
Again, it's the feeling of there's this inevitable thing. It's like this guy with a chainsaw wearing another human's face just coming after you.
Leatherface. There's a new one coming out, I think. They're doing that thing where they do a prequel and explain the origins, which I find always makes it even more scary the more you know about it.
Yeah,
just kidding. I'm that's sarcastic because that is everyone always says the opposite of that, right? The more you know about Jason, the more you know about the Mike Myers, the less scary they are.
Because you start to sympathize with them.
Exactly. They're not as why was the Joker so effective in The Dark Knight?
Because he kept changing his story for how he got the scars.
I was going to say because of the makeup.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
No, part of it's because, like you were saying, his origins are mysterious. His motivations don't make sense. We look at the Joker, we can't understand. Why is he burning money? Who does that?
Yeah.
The Joker.
Well, it's about sending a message.
It's about sending a message. Yeah. Good Joker impression.
Thanks.
And by the way, in the chat, Vanessa says, have you guys watched Haunting of Hill House? And Nashua says, Haunting of Hill House is awesome. Thumbs up. None of us have watched that, right?
No, but it's the same people who made Bly Manor. Right?
That's right.
Didn't we start that?
No, Bly Manor.
Alon and I did start Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't love the first episode. I think I was slightly more into it than you were. I thought some of the scares were pretty effective. But Bly Manor you've been enjoying, right?
Yeah, I think 4 episodes in, I think it's a little slow, but I mean, I'm curious where it's going. I'm into it. I plan on finishing it. Yeah. And maybe we have to go back and see if Hill House gets better.
If we like Bly Manor, I think we got to go back for Hill House. Got to watch the original. Mike Flanagan, I believe is his name. Alon, what's the name of the... He's the same guy who directed Dr. Sleep. And DJ A Juice Power Source Pro says, let's take it way back. American Werewolf in London. We haven't watched that.
We were talking about it yesterday.
We ended up watching Pontypool instead, but I really want to watch American Werewolf in London because I love a good horror comedy combo where it still has some of the spookiness and horrifying stuff. I don't like it to go all the way comedy, so I think from what I've heard about it, I feel like I'm going to love that movie.
And Michael J. Fox is in the second one? Is that what you said? Something like that.
Don't quote me on that. I feel like it had something to do with that franchise. Michael J. Fox, American Werewolf. Let's take a look here. I feel like he was in the sequel. Now I'm thinking of Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf, that's right. And not the MTV reboot. The original movie. And CGI Walter White for Halloween. LK Chapo. What do you think, Adam?
We should get a Walter White hologram.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's just every time you look at him, he goes, I am the danger.
And then that follows up with one of these.
That reminds you, So you know how like TV shows will have like, and movies will have promos and certain trailer tidbits that they're not actually from the show. It's something they recorded just to, or it's either something they cut out or something they recorded just for the show. Gil and I always got a kick out of this one AMC promotion years ago for Breaking Bad, where he's like, remember when he dries the money? Like he has all this money that got wet and he's drying it in his dryer, literally laundering it, so to speak.
Right.
And you see, they always do these cool things with the camera. You see the inside view of the dryer, and he just goes, "I've heard enough out of you." And then he like reaches toward the camera, and they put that in one of the promos, and it just seemed, we love that show, but it seemed so dumb and out of place.
It was really cheesy. This commercial would pop up with Walter White holding a rag, looking at you as if you're being held captive.
Yeah,
I've heard enough out of you. Always loved when that commercial came on.
Yeah. So to this day, we still refer to it probably once a week.
That's right. So what do you say? Should we dive into Clock Tower?
Let's see. Are we all caught up on the chat?
I think so. Elizabeth G agrees that American Werewolf in London is a great movie, and then follows it up by saying it is so good.
Nice.
Oh, and if we caught up
should
on
watch that.
all the stuff we asked you to look up.
I think the last thing was the director of Dr. Sleep,
Oh yeah,
Mike Flanagan, which
You called it. Also, Elizabeth G plans to watch Pontypool. So
very nice. Elizabeth G, if you watch Pontypool, I want you to come back and comment on this stream. Let us know what you thought of it. Let us know if it was a worthwhile recommendation.
And the way we know that we can recommend it to other people is that we watched it with our dad, and he falls asleep during almost every movie. He did not fall asleep during this one.
That's right. We've talked about starting a Twitter account that just gives a thumbs up, a totally binary system. Is it a good movie or not?
Yeah.
The pure basis of it would be, did our fathers stay awake during it?
Yeah.
Pontypool was especially impressive because without spoiling anything, you watch it and you know it's low budget, which means it's a little bit artsy and they take some shortcuts. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. But the fact that he stayed awake is a big testament to the quality of that movie. What do you say, Adam? Clock Tower?
Let's do it. Clock Tower.
All right, so let me set this up, but we're going to play a Super Nintendo game that was only ever released in Japan because it was too scary for America. I don't know if that's true, but it was never released in America.
They thought we couldn't handle it.
just like the Lost Levels, Mario.
Mario, yeah, they're too hard.
But we're going to prove them wrong, and we're going to try and play this game. And even if you're not into video games, you're going to want to stick around because from what I understand, this game's got a pretty deep story, very spooky. This is going to basically be like watching a horror movie.
Right, it's cinematic.
Yeah, just move that mouse real quick.
Didn't think Super Nintendo had a mouse.
There you go.
Clock. T.
Tower. I skipped it.
Oh, Clock Tower.
Clock Tower.
Copyright Human, 1995. It's kind of a spooky
Human, that
name.
could be anyone.
Good thing they put the copyright symbol on. So it's not
Oh,
public
that's true.
domain.
Yeah, it didn't suffer the fate of Night of the Living. Raised in the Granite Orphanage. Jennifer and her friends.
Human Entertainment, founded 1983, defunct January 2000.
Oh, dang.
It lasted a long time. Were wanted as adopted daughters. It happened in September.
So Jennifer and her friends wanted as adopted daughter. What does that mean?
I think they're in an orphanage or something.
Okay, Jennifer and her friends are in an orphanage. And now we see, I think probably that's Jennifer and her friends hanging out in a forest, it looks like.
Yep.
Unusual to see this kind of artwork for Super Nintendo.
Laura, hurry up. We want to be there before sunset.
Where are they heading? Let's find out. So that's probably Laura. Miss Mary. Yes. Here you can be Laura, I'll be Miss Mary.
Okay. From now on, what kind of place will we be living in?
I don't know what kind of accent that was.
I don't know.
That's the 5th time you've asked. Shut up, Laura. Enough. Don't worry, it's a very nice place.
Yeah, but why can't you just tell me?
Obviously, there's something menacing going on here. Where are we going? We're almost there, see? Pan to the right.
What would you call this in film? Is that just a pan or is
That's
there
a
another
pan,
term
yeah.
for it?
Let's call it a pan. All right, so we're heading to a spooky mansion. It looks kind of like Bly Manor.
Yeah, it does. It's foggy.
DJ Aju says, wrong turn. The first movie is real crazy and gory. It's another one I haven't seen. What a huge place.
I liked Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh,
Remember
that's
that one?
another great one. I haven't watched
Yeah.
that one in years. Highly recommend Tucker.
Horror
and Dale
comedy is a great
genre.
setup genre. Yeah,
Subgenre.
I would say consistently probably my most favorite movie of all time is Shaun of the Dead.
Me too. I think it's number one for me. Part of that's because it just hit at the right time. Super nostalgic movie for me.
All right, so they're at the mansion, and this lady's saying, "Everyone wait here."
Miss Mary's leaving them. So these are Jennifer or Laura.
Laura, I think.
Laura and her other friends. I believe they're all orphans, and they've been brought to a new mansion with Miss Mary, where they're all going to be living, and she just left them alone.
Oh,
It's like a point and click adventure.
Okay, I'm her right here with the map.
That's right. You look kind of like, what's her name?
Ringu.
Samara.
He looks like Samara a little bit. All right, click on something. Let's see what happens here.
I'm trying.
This is thrilling.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Oh boy, she walks slow. This is not
Let's
Mario
talk to
Brothers.
this lady.
I don't know if point and click adventures work well on console.
It's a great game. This game invented survivor horror.
Hey, Ann.
You want to know what kind of guy Mr. Barrows is, right? You want to know what kind of guy Mr. Barrows is, right?
Yeah. Hello.
Hey,
Ann.
Oh yeah, so I'm Ann.
Yeah.
You want to know what kind of we already?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But here, Mr. Barrows is, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay, so what kind of guy is Mr. Barrows? Oh boy, this
Maybe the creepy thing is that she won't tell me.
Come on, Ann, you got to talk. What is it?
Is something wrong? Yeah, see, everyone's standoffish.
This house makes me uneasy. The way everyone talks so slow makes me uneasy. What is? Actually, you're just cycling back through the same dialogue now.
Okay.
You're gathering information. So the girl in the green dress tells us there's something off about Mr. Barrows, is my impression.
Let's talk to this guy in the red.
Blue girl says the house is creepy. Let's talk to the fellow in the red. I doubt I'll ever get used to this place. Okay, so no new information.
Huh? You.
Okay, Lottie's paranoid. So this kid is Lottie over here.
Yeah. All right, let's go through this door.
We get one could refill for us.
Yeah.
Would you mind?
Sure.
You can bring the picture over. This is some of
How'd
our
I go
haunted Halloween juice. You can't go through the door?
I mean, it looks open. How do I get there?
Why do you walk so slow? Maybe we should do some name that tune while this is going. All right, everybody in the chat, I'm going to play a Halloween or horror related song. And first one to guess what it is gets a point. Okay, everybody ready? I'm going to play it momentarily. Adam and Alun, if you know what it is, don't say it. Okay, have I missed anything? Is anything going on in the game yet?
No.
I mean, it's definitely creepy, I'll say. Like, if I were in a room with these kids and nobody was talking...
Oh, you know what? I think I came in from that side. It's going left to right.
I see. Okay, let's do some Name That Tune. Halloween edition.
Yeah, I like the footsteps.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
Let's see if we can go up these stairs. No.
I'm going to start with an easy one. Let's see if people can tell me what this song is from. Who could get this? I don't know how much it traveled outside America, so Elizabeth G might not know.
She's never even heard of Halloween.
Oh, Nashua gets it. 1 point for Nashua. Let me write that down. Oh, Elizabeth G got it as well. I underestimated you, Elizabeth.
Gil's getting in the mood here where I think he's going to give away something to whoever wins.
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see how things go. So let me just keep score here.
Alun,
What?
Nashua.
you're good at video games.
1 point.
Can you tell me, like, can you just, like, find a walkthrough or something?
Yeah. Look
I
up.
actually haven't been paying attention. Do you know what your goal is right now? Or
Well,
anything?
I found this door, but I need a key.
Okay.
I see a set of stairs, but I don't know how to go up the stairs.
Where are the verbs?
Nah. No
Wait.
verbs. All I can do is click on
How
stuff.
do you know you need a key? Did I miss something?
Yeah, I went up to this door and she just went,
All right, let me just
it's
go.
locked. I need a key.
Yeah. Look up how to get out of
I'll
this
just go
room.
to Game FAQs.
I used to go on there all the time.
All right. I'm gonna play one. I don't actually know how this song goes. Let's see though if people recognize it.
Okay.
Did you know GameSpot bought GameFAQs.com?
I did not know
It is
that.
now
did not know that.
GameFAQs.GameSpot.com.
All right. Ready? Here comes the next tune. Oh yeah.
Of course. This is not the
It's a
too
classic.
spooky.
Remix.
No, this is creepy. I'll tell you why once somebody gets it. Anyone who's just joined us, we're trying to guess this tune. What is this tune from?
Guys, there's multiple endings to this game.
For real?
That's cool.
I need to know how to get past the beginning.
This game is ahead of its time.
Okay.
DJ Aju's Power Source Pro says the first Scream movie is also funny and scary. That's true. The first Scream movie is pretty great. There's a new one. They're working on a new one right now, which is pretty amazing.
Will Courtney Cox Arquette be in it?
I believe so. And I forget her name, but the main actress. Wow, Mark Rayburn in the chat just gave us €1.
Oh wow,
That's our
more
first
than
super chat ever.
Isn't that more than $1?
Thank you, Mark.
Wow.
You're an amazing person.
It's $1.17 US.
Wow. All right, I will drink to that. Thank you, Mark Rayburn. He's another OG. He was with us in the Better Call Saul days.
Those were the days.
If you like, oh yes, Elizabeth Neve Campbell. She is returning for Scream 5. And by the way, if you're a Better Call Saul fan, stay tuned. I have a Better Call Saul related video coming out this week, or probably within the next week, I'd say, which I've been working on for months, and I can't wait for people to see it.
So the issue with this walkthrough is there's different walkthroughs for each ending. So it's like, I guess...
Pick the spookiest ending.
Yeah, I just want to know how to get out of this room.
Right now, you're just trying to find the key to leave the room, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Is it in this room?
What room are you in? Do you know?
It's just like the first room.
By the way, Mark, Adam, if you don't remember, he's one of the 3 that won a prize on our Better Call Saul watch party.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, well, stay tuned because there could be more prizes.
Did you get a bobblehead?
I don't remember. Mark, remind us which prize you got. And by the way, for those who are wondering, this tune, that's Peanuts.
Yeah.
That's Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin.
Adam,
Yes.
have you examined the box in the living room?
Oh, there's a box.
Yeah, it looks like a few of these endings start with you examining a box. It seems like the first thing you're supposed to do.
So for those who didn't catch that, this game, Clock Tower, came out 30 years ago, I think, and it's supposed to be like this game birthed the survival horror genre. The other thing, though, is that apparently it has multiple endings depending on how you play the game, which was ahead of its time. That's a big thing nowadays, but back then, pretty unique.
I don't see a box anywhere.
All right, let me find a YouTube tutorial.
Thanks.
We should just play the YouTube tutorial and just do that.
Yeah.
All right, for those of you who are playing Name That Tune, I'm going to play...
Hey, I went through the door somehow.
Oh, the one you were struggling to get through before? All right, here we go.
Can we turn the volume up? Oh,
Yeah,
something's
so.
going on.
Okay, we just heard a scream
The main hall.
coming from the main hall.
It's
No,
coming out
you
of
won't
TV.
hear it from that, yeah.
Use the remote.
Well, they said will also help.
Remote.
Oh, okay, so we heard a scream coming from the main hall. We came back to the main hall and we found all of our friends are gone. Where did they go? That's right. Mark got the Mike bobblehead.
I hope he's enjoying it.
All right.
Fun fact, the Mike bobblehead can only nod horizontally. It can't go up and down.
That's right. He never says yes to anything. All right, I'm going to play here. Ready? Name that tune in the chat. I know you're all going to know this one. So you're going to want to jump on this one. This one's about speed. Ready? I know you all know what this is from.
This makes me nostalgic.
Yeah. For like a year ago when the reboot came out.
We're going up the stairs. Now I'm allowed
The
to.
more you can slurp into the microphone, Adam, just keep doing that. That's perfect.
I was trying to imitate the sound of a blood-sucking vampire.
All right, Adam, we got a tough call here because Mark said X. Elizabeth G said X-Files. I think we've got to be consistent here. We got to have a rule and we got to stick with it. I think you've got to give a complete answer. I know Mark knew it. He said X. But I think we got to give this one.
True, it's not about who knew it first, it's about who gave the correct answer first.
Yeah. So, Mark, you get kudos. Elizabeth G. Wow, Elizabeth says give it to Mark.
Oh, okay.
What a nice person. You know what? Mark, we'll give it to you. Elizabeth, you're an incredible human being.
Does she get some kind of like morality points?
Let's just say that we're going to remember Elizabeth G.
Okay.
We now know what kind of person she is, and she's an awesome person. And so is Mark, and he's getting a point.
And Gil literally has a spreadsheet open where he's tracking this.
I do. I'll find any excuse to pull up a spreadsheet.
He wrote next to Elizabeth, excellent person, and next to Mark it says, remains to be seen.
Do you want to plug your Excel
Whoa.
tutorials YouTube channel?
Nah, it's fine. Maybe for April, I did at one point attempt to start an Excel tutorials YouTube channel, and maybe for April Fools, I'll post some of those on the OneTake channel. DJ Juice says, I think the Peanuts theme song. Yeah, that's right. It was the Peanuts theme song, kids TV show. That's right. Which I think this year was a big year because for the first time in about 50 years, they did not air the Peanuts Halloween special on network television.
Was there a reason for that?
Shameful. I think maybe because it was airing on HBO Max instead, the streaming platform.
Fair enough. I used to watch that, I think.
The once a year, the Halloween special?
Yeah. I remember unrelated to that, but just I liked how the teachers always went like...
That's right. That's what Alun's like because he's off camera. So when he talks, you just hear... You know what we need? We need a casket. You hear that?
Yeah. Some spooky.
Some spooky sounds.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mug.
That's creepy. Alun, what movie does that remind me of?
Hush?
Evil Dead. Remember the one of the dead girls starts singing that?
No.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Creepy movie.
Yeah.
That was an interesting franchise because Evil Dead 1...
I just figured out how to run.
Ooh, how do you do
I just
that?
got to hit the button faster.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, thank God.
Mark says, really enjoyed your interview with the Raised by Wolves writer, Gil. Must have been a real thrill for you. Wait a minute. Did someone say thriller? So hold on. Did someone say thriller? And I think because it's a MIDI, I don't think the copyright.
Well, yeah, I think it's fine.
We're still up.
That's right. Okay, cool. So, Mark, yeah, that getting Aaron Guzikowski, the showrunner for Raised by Wolves, writer of the movie Prisoners, getting him on for an interview was a major milestone. It was really, really exciting for me. I remember when I got the email back that it was all approved and it was good to go. Adam, how much was I smiling?
All the time.
Yeah.
Now
it's
so
not
with
full.
your mouth closed.
Gross. Yeah, that was super
That was
exciting.
scary. The way he was chewing.
And Robert says, same, Mark. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Mark, for the support. All right, let's do another Name That Tune, right? Well, first pause for a second. Adam, catch me up. What's happening in this game?
Okay, so it looks like all the power's out or something. Or, no, not all the power's out, but a lot of the lights have turned off. Everyone went missing. I'm in this mansion. I found this room here. There's a spooky painting on the wall.
Yeah.
And I'm just exploring this room to figure out what to do next. We got a window over here. Let's check it out.
And we do have in our back pocket I have a script for a radio play from the 50s. And maybe if we feel like we want to do it, we might perform that here. You know?
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. And let's do another Name That Tune. I'm going to make this a tough one.
All right. We found another door here.
All right, if you're in the chat and you hear some music playing right now, tell me what movie this is from. What Halloween or horror-related movie is this song from? Sound familiar yet, Adam?
No.
Yeah, same. It's a tough one.
Oh. Wait, what? This isn't a horror movie.
It's got horror elements.
No.
Oh, you gotta let the music go.
Whoa! Somebody just grabbed me from the mirror.
Oh, damn. Nashua.
Oh, I died.
Nashua gets it. Of course, this is Ghostbusters. It's another point for Nashua. That's Nashua 2, Mark 1, everyone else 0, except for Elizabeth G, who has morality points.
I died. I didn't know you could die in this
wait,
game.
so we have to start all the way over now?
There's a quick start. Let's see what happens.
I'm gonna put the spooky music back on.
Something strange in your neighborhood.
All right, for the next point, we're gonna stop Name That Tune for a minute. I want to do some Halloween trivia. Let's gotta find some first. Actually, no, I've got one. This is one of my favorite Halloween questions. I just have to remember the answer. 1 second. Man, I know other people can Google it too, but that in and of itself is good.
No Googling.
Yeah, honor system. If you get this question right really fast, then I'm going to know you Googled it. Oh, wait a minute. Elizabeth got Ghostbusters before Nashua. I misread it. But I already gave Nashua a point. I'll give them
Is
both points.
Ghostbuster spelled one word or two words?
Oh, okay. That's going to be the deciding factor.
It's
one word.
It's one word.
Elizabeth gets the point.
Maybe we should give Nashua half a point.
Half a point.
Nashua has half a point, and Elizabeth gets 1 point.
All right, I stay away from the mirror this time. I'm gonna go to this bed.
Mark asks, "Are you guys drinking?" We've got some apple juice.
What?
We're drinking apple juice.
Oh, wasn't Alan supposed to refill us?
He did. You finished
Oh,
it.
Gil.
What?
The Ghostbusters with a space is a live-action children's
bird.
sitcom that ran in 1975.
Really? Was it
Yeah.
related to... So I don't know if you all heard that, but apparently there was a sitcom in, what, 19...
It's unrelated to the 1984 film Ghostbusters.
Okay.
I just unleashed a bird.
Wait, and when did this sitcom...
1975.
So in 1975, there was a sitcom called The Ghostbusters, with a space in between Ghost and Busters.
Was it related to Ghostbusters?
No, he just said it's not. As
I'm
Mark,
distracted. There's a bird attacking me. Come on.
as Mark says, lightweights. This guy can't keep up with what's going on. To be fair, there's a lot happening. You've got Clock Tower. You've got... I don't know if you can really see it very well. Got Night of the Living Dead back there.
Oh, I figured out how to make my character dance. Look.
Public domain. And
It
okay,
reminds me
so,
of Prince of Persia, the way you're
Yeah,
moving
it does.
oh yeah.
It's the pants. It's like the baggy pants.
Okay, everybody in the chat, brace yourselves. I've got a big piece of Halloween trivia coming at you. First person to get this question right gets a point, and that question is candy corn. Very popular.
Is it a candy or is it a corn?
There you go. That's not the question, but let's actually sticking with it for a second. How do we feel about candy corn?
I like it. I like it more than other people.
Really?
Yeah.
Alon?
It's okay.
It's got this kind of like little savory aspect to it that I enjoy.
When's the last time you had candy corn?
Must have been a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I've never cared for it. I've always been a chocolate guy. So really, right off the bat, it's got that working against it.
I keep telling my character to use the toilet, and she's just like, really? I don't have to go right now.
Cole Schramm says, decent with peanuts. Interesting. I've never tried candy corn with peanuts.
But we do have peanuts.
We have peanuts, so I say this week, let's get some candy corn and let's take it for a test drive. Nashua never had candy corn, not from the U.S. Nashua, take it from me.
Whoa.
You're not missing out, in my opinion.
Look.
Oh, wow. I'll ask the question in a second. I want to see what's happening here. Whoa, giant. Whoa, that's creepy. Big guy with scissors coming at Laura. Oh,
I gotta get out of here.
that is nightmarish. Yo, get out of there. Run. What are you doing?
I'm going as fast as I can. Whoa.
Whoa, that got my heart racing a little bit. Is that music coming from the game or from me? That's
Probably
coming
you.
from me. Hold on, this is what I was like a second ago. All right, ready for this piece of trivia? In the chat, don't Google this. I mean, we have no way to know. So anyway, here's the question. Candy corn was originally known as what? It had a different name, then they changed it to candy corn. What was that original name? For 1 point. And DJ Aju's Power Source Pro says another good classic scary movie you can watch is Hellraiser. Alon's seen that.
That's the guy with all the nails
I
and
have.
the needles in his
yeah,
face, right?
Pinhead, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember too much, but I do remember that character was not in it very much.
That's right. I think
Surprisingly. I expected a lot more of him after all I've heard about it.
right. He's on the cover. He is known. He is the mascot of the Hellraiser franchise. But I actually haven't seen it. It's on my to-watch list. And Mark Rayburn says Candy Pop. Incorrect. And Cole Schramm says Pinhead. Which, again, just confirming we have the correct name.
Pinhead is not the name of the candy.
That's right. It's not the name of the candy. Chainsaw.
We're removing who guessed it? Cole Stram. We're removing Cole Stram's head.
Yeah, there you go. Chainsaw.
Forgot
Coming
the
at you.
answer wrong.
It's a weird.
All right,
price.
we're gonna lift our rule. You are allowed to Google this. So now it's just a matter of who can Google it quicker. What was the original name of candy corn? And then as a fun fact, I'll tell you my original name.
Okay, so I went into a weird room. It wasn't clear to me there was anything I could do in there. The rest of these doors are locked.
Can you look at one of those pictures?
Not more than this.
Okay. You never answered my question, by the way, Adam. Supernatural things, ghosts, ghouls, and goblins.
Oh, yes.
Do they exist? Elizabeth G, by the way, in the chat, got the answer right. What was it called? Candy corn? Candy corn
Corn feet.
was originally known as chicken feed. 1 point for Elizabeth G. You are doing quite well now because 2 points, I think, is the score to beat. But I lost my spreadsheet.
In terms of supernatural,
Yeah, does it exist?
I would say it exists to the not to the extent that it can interact with the physical realm, but it can have an impact on people's minds. So the ideas of supernatural things can affect you, and they may as well be real.
So you're saying in our imagination they exist, and they affect the world in the sense that they affect
They
us.
act through us.
It sounds like you know what it sounds like? Hold on, I gotta cue this up. I've got.
like I'm weaseling my way out of the question.
No. It sounds like you want to believe.
Yes. Boom.
So Elizabeth G is in first place right now with 2 points. Nashua has 1.5 points, and Mark has 1 point. Oh, so now I got to tell my story. This is not really a spooky story, but I'm gonna make it feel that way by putting some spooky music behind
Whoa,
it.
the scissor guy.
Scissors guy is back.
Oh no, I don't know how to get out of here.
You
Go in
can't-
the fridge.
This is
I
like
can't.
yeah, that's the Indiana Jones tactic. Right before
Oh,
the
no.
nuclear bomb went off,
I'm dead.
put himself in a refrigerator, and he survived. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So I'll tell my story about my my original name. So let me set the stage. When I was 16 years old, I wanted to get my driving permit so I could drive places. In order to do so, I had to show the DMV my birth certificate. A certificate of birth which I'd never before seen. Because who looks at their own birth certificate? Right? Anyway, my parents hand me the birth certificate and I look at it, and the name printed on it is a name that is not my name. Because my name is Gil, G-I-L. And on that birth certificate was written G-I-L-L. Gil with 2 L's. Can you believe it?
Like a fish.
It was apparently I've been misspelling my name my entire life. I realized at the age of 16. Now, it turns out that attached to the birth certificate was a receipt where we apparently paid, I think, actually, you know what? Here's for another point. Whoever can get closest without going over, how much do you think it cost to remove 1 L from my name? Because at the age of 1, that's exactly what we did.
What?
Now, this is for the chat. You're not allowed to participate in this.
Okay, I have a guess.
No, I don't want you to sway I don't want you to sway anybody in the chat. So the question on the table is, my name used to be spelled G-I-L-L, and we paid to have it legally changed to Gil with 1 L. How much do you think it cost to make that change? Whoever can get closest without going over, what's the rule? Let's just say whoever gets closest.
Closest, because Mark already guessed and you didn't specify the without going over part.
Okay, whoever gets closest. So we'll give it another, let's say it's 11:13 Eastern Standard Time right now. Let's give it till 11:16 to put in your answer, and we'll see who gets closest. I'll have my spreadsheet ready to help with the math. Mark says $400. And then Nosh was going all the way the other way. She says $5. You got Elizabeth saying $25.
That was my guess. That was what
That was
I was
your
going to
guess?
guess. Yeah.
Cole Schramm says $1,000. Is that worth it? $1,000 to get rid of one L?
No.
Well, let's see. All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes.
Oh no, I have to restart the game again.
I kind of want. What do you think about doing that radio play in a bit, maybe?
Yeah.
Let's think about it. So we've got a radio play here from the 50s that we want to perform, and I'm pretty psyched about it because after watching, like we mentioned earlier, that movie Pontypool last night about a radio DJ, this radio play stars a radio DJ. So we get to do our DJ voice.
Let's do that.
DJ A-Juice Power Source Pro knows all about that. DJ asks, by the way, have you ever watched the movie Thinner, 1996, or the original Pet Sematary? Those are some real good movies also. Thinner, I haven't watched. Pet Sematary, I did watch for the first time just a few months ago, I think. I think last Halloween, actually. And that was a pretty good movie. That was just super creepy. The new one I heard is not great.
I've seen the Simpsons parody of it.
That's right. What happened in the Simpsons parody? I forget.
They just all the dead pets came back to life, and they had to do some spell to get them back in the grave.
So basically the same as the original movie. I miss the Simpsons Halloween specials. Those were the best. Treehouse of Horror. Owen, what was your favorite Simpsons Treehouse of Horror segment?
The 3D one.
That's the one I was going to say.
No chewing by the microphone. We said that was what we agreed on. Wait, anytime Adam chews in front of the microphone, you know what I think? That was a zombie moaning, "Kill you." Well, that music's getting a bit intense. Let me find some other music. Let's change it up. Public domain. Here, Handel Sarabande. This should be good. There you go. DJ A-Juice has put in his guess. How much does it cost to remove one L from the name Gil with two L's? And he's putting $50. Ooh, Mark Rayburn, have you guys seen Soylent Green? Yes, I have seen Soylent Green. I don't remember that much about it, except for the ending, of course, which I won't spoil, even though I think most people know it. I also have drank my fair share of Soylent, which, if you're unfamiliar with it, basically an engineer, I think a computer engineer, sick of eating. He didn't want to do it anymore. So he created a beverage that had all the nutrients that theoretically a human would need to survive. By the way, Len, have you taken this out of video game mode?
Yes.
Awesome. And I just started drinking it, and I enjoyed the taste of it. But my coworkers were worried about me, and they set up basically an intervention, essentially. I was sitting in my office, and 4 people walked into my office, and they said, "Gil, you know, we did some research, and apparently it's better to chew your food than to drink all of it." But
These are the same people who are eating McDonald's every day.
exactly. It's not exactly true, but it's not like they had the best diets. But anyway, I wasn't drinking only Soylent. I was using it as a pre-workout or just something to drink as a snack. So back off. And we're actually past time here right now. So who got closest? How much does it cost to change your name from Gil with 2 L's to Gil with 1 L? Guesses were all over the place. The lowest guess was Nashua at $5. On the upper end, Cole Schramm guessed $1,000. And I will say, I don't remember how much it cost.
Oh, no.
I do remember, I know it within a very small range, though small enough that I know who won. The answer was either $94 or $97, which means that DJ A-Juice Power Source Pro is the winner of this round. DJ gets a point. So for those of you...
You're on the board.
You're on the board, my friend. Elizabeth is still in first. Elizabeth G with 2 points. Nashua with 1.5. Mark and DJ tied at 1. But don't worry, there'll be plenty of opportunities to gain more points this evening. What's a good sound effect for that?
Clock.
Where is that? Okay, because I
To
said...
the left.
There we go. You hear that? That's the sound of inevitability.
Time.
Time.
Running out.
This song is not very Halloween-y.
No.
This song was featured in the movie Barry Lyndon, by the way. Also Antichrist, which was a horror movie by, what's the name of that auteur, that like, super artsy filmmaker?
Lars von Trier.
Mark says, all I need is more Better Call Saul questions. Actually, funny story. We did a Better Call Saul Halloween special.
Oh, yes.
And one of the games we played on that was I named Halloween costumes, and then Adam had to guess which character on Better Call Saul would have worn that costume.
Yeah.
Now that I say it, it's kind of a ridiculous game.
That was a good episode.
That was a classic, yeah. I don't feel it ever got its due. Oh, yeah, so we're going to do the radio plays, right?
Yes.
I need to take a quick break. Can you guys vamp while I go?
Sure.
Here, I'll pull up a Wikipedia article, so if you can't think of anything to talk about, you just start reading that.
I'll quiz Alon on random facts
We
inside of
can't have Dead Air, which I bet you is the name of a movie, 2009. Why don't you read the synopsis of Dead Air? I'll be right back.
Dead Air is a 2009 American science fiction horror. Oh, I accidentally clicked on the Wikipedia article for Zombie, which sounds more interesting.
Don't spoil the movie, though.
Oh, actually, okay, here's something I know off the top of my head. Alon.
Yeah.
From which country does the legend of zombies originate?
Switzerland.
Not even close.
Give me a hint.
It's in the Caribbean.
Jamaica.
Think voodoo.
Jamaica.
It's Haiti.
Haiti.
Yeah.
Do you know the country song from Animaniacs?
No. Oh, wait. Peru.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama,
No, Peru.
Jamaica, Haiti, Peru.
No.
You know, it's coming back.
Okay, Animaniacs.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember the show from my childhood, but when I went back to watch it, I really enjoyed it.
It's a great show.
I like how every episode has music in it.
Did everyone?
Almost everyone.
Okay, yeah. That would be a lot of songs.
Pop quiz. What's the name of the girl character?
Dot.
What are the other two?
Yakko and Wacko. The other two girls? There's only one girl.
Other two characters.
Yakko and Wacko.
Yeah.
What was I going to say?
Animaniacs?
Yeah. But
it's coming back.
It's coming back. Oh, yeah. You said every episode had a song.
Yeah.
And then that reminded me of another show that actually had a song every episode. You know what show I'm thinking of?
Flight of the Conchords.
No, because that's obvious. The Donkey Kong TV show.
I remember seeing that once on TV.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, "What the hell? There's a Donkey Kong show?"
The animation was not the best.
No, it looked like something like if The Sims had characters from Donkey Kong in it. If you just screen captured that,
The characters looked like Mario 64 when you stretch his face in the
yeah.
intro.
Ah,
Oh, so how's everything going while I was gone? I was upstairs. I'm watching the subscriber count drop like crazy the moment I left.
yeah. I'm not
Sorry.
surprised.
We were talking about Animaniacs and Donkey Kong, the TV show.
Animaniacs coming back in a few weeks.
That's right.
Do you think, can we review that on this channel, or is that too,
Yeah.
like, is there going to be enough to talk about?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can like review every episode, but
Maybe we'll just watch it. Why don't we just we'll watch the show, and then we'll just have like a vamp session. You know, let's talk about it. What did I miss in the chat? Any good stuff?
They're talking about some stuff.
The stuff, question mark. DJ A Juice Power Source Pro says another movie that's kind of funny and scary is called The Stuff. Oh, look it up. See what you can find out about The Stuff. And we need more questions because we need a winner. Because there's going to be a prize. I've decided. You know what it's going to be, right? Don't
Human
say what
head.
it is. Human head. What do they call those? A shrunken head.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know they have to take the skull out in order to do that.
Do you know, have you ever made a shrunken head before?
No, but I've read a lot about it.
So,
Do you want the synopsis?
of The Stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, and do it in your best movie trailer guy voice.
Okay. First of all, from 1985.
Right.
Okay. Several railroad workers.
Wait, hold on. I want to start some good music behind it, so that way it feels like you're like reading a trailer. So
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Several railroad workers discover a white cream-like alien substance bubbling out of the ground. These workers find it to be sweet and addictive. Later, the substance, marketed as the stuff, is being sold to the general
It's the
public.
stuff from Space Jam that helps Michael Jordan. Or no. Yeah, it's Michael Jordan. Right?
That's right. Yeah.
in containers like ice cream. It is marketed as having no calories and as being sweet, creamy, and filling. The stuff quickly becomes a nationwide craze and drastically hurts the sale of ice cream.
Go on.
Okay. Former FBI agent turned industrial saboteur David Moe Rutherford was hired by the leaders of the suffering ice cream industry, as well as junk food mogul Charles W. Chocolate Chip Charlie Hobbs,
What is this movie? It sounds great.
to
Go on.
find out exactly what the stuff is and destroy it.
That's the premise?
I mean, there's a few more paragraphs I'm reading from Wikipedia.
Oh,
It sounds like an
okay.
allegory for high fructose corn syrup.
That's right. Actually, it's exactly what it sounds like. Much like George Romero, it's a horror movie that has something to say about society. So there you go.
Yeah.
And let's get another question, and then let's jump into the radio play.
Okay.
Maybe something about shrunken head. You know what I'm going to do? Halloween trivia. Hopefully nobody else has Google. All right, 20 Halloween fun facts and trivia questions. Oh, you know what? I got a good one here.
You remember Pumpkinhead?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrifying. I
Yeah,
saw
it
that when I was a
scared me.
kid.
I have nostalgia for that movie.
Me
I
too.
know what I'm going to do. Months ago, when the new Scooby-Doo movie was coming out, I created a bunch of my own Scooby-Doo trivia questions. So nobody can Google these.
Yeah.
One of them, some of them I calculated myself. You can't Google these. So I'm going to ask some questions. This is going to be tough. All right? And Bob, we got some good comments in here. Cole Schramm says They Live. Solid movie, too.
Yeah.
You've seen that one, right?
I definitely have. But
That's where you-
that's with Kurt Russell with the glasses.
Right. You put on... Is that Kurt Russell?
I thought it was.
Yeah. No. It's something Piper. Rodney Piper or something? A wrestler?
I know it's John Carpenter.
Definitely John Carpenter. Yeah, we're going to look like fools.
Hey, Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper.
I remember the glasses.
And he had
Yeah.
long hair, so you were thinking of Snake
Yes.
Plissken? Anyway, so They Live, that's where you put on the sunglasses and you find out that there's a secret society among us. They live among us.
So the role of Nada in the movie They Live was originally written for Kurt Russell.
Boom.
Wow, that would have been great trivia. Damn it. We wasted it.
We wasted it on these people.
I'll phrase it in the form of a question next time.
All right, let me pull up this trivia. Scooby-Doo trivia. Where would I have saved this? How am I going to find this? I'll find it. It would have been in a Google Doc, not a spreadsheet, probably, right?
I don't know. You do like spreadsheets.
Why do I have so many Scooby-Doo related files? Okay, ready?
Yeah.
We're going to do some Scooby-Doo trivia because these went to waste. I feel like we didn't get enough proper use out of them.
Yeah.
So, question number 1. What is Scooby-Doo's full name? And should I give some multiple choice?
Oh, yeah.
All right. A, Scooby-Doo. It's not short for anything. B, Scoobert-Doo. C, Scoobus-Doobus. Or D, Scoobert-Doobert. So that was, what is Scooby-Doo's full name? That Scooby-Doo is mad.
Yeah. He's got rabies.
Let me put on some good... Try to find some better Halloween music. All right. Chill out. Mark Rayburn says X. D. Okay, so he says D, which would be Scoobert-Doobert. Mark is incorrect. Who else wants to take a guess?
You just made it easier for everyone.
Who else wants to take a guess? Mark, you can go again if you want. All right, and then we cue up my next question.
We have another guess for D.
Another. So D is incorrect. Oh no, she's saying Scoobert-Doo, right?
Oh.
Let's see. This is confusing. Scoobert-Doo. Yes, I mean she's there. Elizabeth G. That's another point for
Wow.
Elizabeth G. So, according to Business Insider, people believe that Scooby-Doo's full name is Scoobert-Doobert, but that is a myth. In the 1988 Scooby-Doo spinoff, A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, they revealed that Scooby-Doo's first name is Scoobert. But if you watched the 1985 episode, It's a Wonderful Scoob, which was part of the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, it's confirmed his last name is simply Doo. So the correct answer, Scooby-Doo's full name is Scoobert do, which means that Elizabeth gets a point, which would be 3 points. That's the score to beat. So one more Scooby-Doo question, and then we're going to go into our radio play. This is a good one. This is the one I calculated myself. I have a spreadsheet here to back it up. How many, and this is another one where it's throw out your guess in the next couple minutes. Whoever gets closest wins. How many episodes of Scooby-Doo have been produced? Now, this does not include any of the Scooby-Doo or Scrappy-Doo shorts, and it does not include any of the movies. So just full Scooby-Doo series. How many total episodes across all 10 or however many of these series there have been? How many total episodes of Scooby-Doo have been produced? And whoever gets closest, it's 11:29. Let's give it 3 minutes. By 11:32, whoever gets closest wins.
We will wait.
We need some spooky Jeopardy music. Mark Rayburn, first guess, he's saying 250.
Gil's writing it down.
Writing it down. 250.
666.
That would have been my guess. Nashua says 350. And I got to agree with DJ A Juice Power Source Pro on this one. Elizabeth is on fire. Nashua goes in with 350. 2 more minutes to put in your guesses. If you just joined us live, the question on the table is how many total episodes of Scooby-Doo have been produced across all of the series? Elizabeth says 500. No clue, 500. What if she said no clue, 421? Very specific number. That number I pulled out of thin air. I don't know the actual correct answer.
I mean, technically, 500 is just as specific.
DJ A Juice Power Source Pro guesses 41. What's this? Alon, pop quiz. What is the creepiest thing in the world?
I don't know.
Adam, what do you think?
Kids.
That's right. Kids, in the middle of the night, you wake up and you hear in the distance, you hear this.
When we come to see the
Kind of nasally, that voice. That's kind of making it less creepy. But the correct answer is Elizabeth G says clowns. I gotta disagree. Clowns are up there. To me, the creepiest thing is children singing, a children's choir where it doesn't belong. In the middle of the night, you wake up and you hear a children's choir just singing creepy stuff. What's creepier than that?
Dude, our youngest brother, Daniel, he would sometimes talk in his sleep. Sometimes when he's like in bed, I would walk past his room to get to mine, and I'd hear him just be like, "Alon?" And I'm like, "Yeah?" And then I don't hear anything back, so I just go to my room and just lock the door.
You walk by his room and you just hear, "Why does someone have to die for me to feel alive?" Nashua says music box.
That's a
Music
good
boxes
one.
are creepy. That's true. Is there a music box on here?
What about a Jack in the Box?
Well, it depends what pops out of the Jack in the Box.
It's
just
like the clown on the spring.
If it was a children's choir popped out. By the way, we're at our time limit. So how many total episodes have there been of Scooby-Doo? We had DJ was the lowest guess. He said 41. Elizabeth G had the highest guess. She said 500. The correct answer, and I do have a spreadsheet to back this up if anybody doesn't trust me, is 428. So Elizabeth gets it again. That's 4 points for Elizabeth.
Wait, what's closer, 350 or 500?
Oh, wow. I may have done that too. I apologize if I was wrong on that. Let's find out. What is closer? Here's the next question. 428. What's closer to that? 350 or 500? Okay. 350 is 70. Yes. Okay. 500 is 72 away. And 350 is 78 away. So that's another point for Elizabeth.
Nashua, you were very close.
You know, Elizabeth was on the edge of her seat for that one.
Yeah.
So was Nashua. And everybody else watching, probably.
I'm beginning to suspect foul play.
There's no way, because
No.
I had to I Googled how many episodes have there been of Scooby-Doo. I couldn't find it. That's why
you tallied it yourself.
I tallied it. I looked up every series on IMDb, and I looked at how many episodes there were, and I added them all up. It took hours. Wow, everybody's clapping for Elizabeth. Charlie Chalk says, Happy Halloween. And I got to agree. What's a good sound for that? Happy Halloween. This soundboard is a little bit lacking, I have to say. I feel like we could have done a better dark laugh.
Spooky chains.
Wow. Oh, you're combining them. Elizabeth is like, oh, my uncle created Scooby-Doo, so I knew this like the back of my hand.
We have a counter on the wall in her house, and it increases every time a new episode comes out.
All right, who wants to hear a scary story?
Me.
Me too. Alon?
Well, let's wait to see if they say yes.
All right, who wants to hear a spooky story? Let's assume there's a slight delay, so we're going to ask the question. It'll take a couple minutes. So let's assume the answer is yes. And Alon, you will find that earlier I WhatsApped you. And by the way, Nashua says, gotta go. It's 7:30 a.m. where I am. Gotta go to work. By the way, for the
That's the scariest thing of all.
Mark does not want to hear a scary story.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, that's because he's easily frightened. I remember that when we used to talk about Better Call Saul. He would say,
He's like, this is too tense. I'm out of here.
anytime Lalo showed up, his heart rate would just go through the roof.
Yeah.
By the way, in terms of the trivia game, people are going to be coming in and out. Does Elizabeth get a prize?
I think she's the winner.
And we could say maybe there'll be a second prize later, but I think we can say, Elizabeth, you win a prize. And you know what that prize is? It's one of these. Your very
Not
own.
me, the shirt.
That's right. Your very own OneTake t-shirt. You can wear it with pride. All you have to do is send me an email, and nobody else email me and pretend that you're Elizabeth. I'll know. I'll have my ways. Just send me an email, gil@onetake.tv. Just in the subject line, say Elizabeth G t-shirt winner. And let us know your t-shirt size and your address, and we'll send it to you.
That's right.
There you go. And Mark says she deserves what?
You got to be in America.
No, because we'll send it direct. Wait. Yes, let's just say, Elizabeth, do you live in America? If you know, she says it would cost you too much. Oh, can you do some quick research? If you send it directly from Teespring, how does international shipping work? Elizabeth, we'll get back to you on that.
Okay, yeah.
Because we've made that mistake before. It might have been Mark. I don't remember. Mark, do you live in Australia? Because if so,
we sent a bobblehead that the shipping costs like twice as much as the bobblehead.
More than twice as much. It might have been 5 times as much as the cost of the bobblehead.
That was a good stream.
We're still young YouTubers. We're learning. So we've got a spooky tale, even scarier than the one I told earlier about my name changing at the age of 1. So this is a radio play called Ghost Hunt that originally aired in 1949, June 23rd, 1949. And Alun, I earlier WhatsApped a link to you, which will get you to the screenplay. That's right, Mark says.
Oh, yeah.
It was me. It was in Ireland. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. We didn't specify.
That's
we didn't
right.
know.
You shouldn't feel bad. It gave us a funny story, and we were happy to send it. You know, if you want to send us something. I'll send it again, Alun.
No, email it to yourself.
Oh, okay. That's right, because you have my email.
Yes.
And check on Teespring International, how that works.
Yep.
Because Elizabeth is being very kind. She wants to give that shirt to somebody else. But if it's not going to cost us because we're sending it directly from Teespring, then, I want to send it to Elizabeth.
Mark treasures the bobblehead.
Awesome. That makes me very happy to hear,
yeah.
to get that follow-up. All right. Script here.
And Mark, I don't know if you heard this before, but there is a a Better Call Saul related video coming out soon on OneTake.
That's right. Yeah, I said that earlier, but for anybody who joined, who's a Better Call Saul fan, big Better Call Saul video coming out in the next week or so. I'm very proud of it. Spent months working on it. And let's just say, Elizabeth, why don't you go ahead and email us either way? So even if we can't get you the t-shirt internationally, we'll somehow honor your winning here. I see that you're suggesting we donate it. Even if we donate that money, I want to at least let you know that it happened so you can feel good about that win.
Or know where you want us to donate it.
Exactly. So just send us an email and we're going to do something to celebrate your Halloween. I was trying to think of a synonym for win that starts with an H so I can get the alliteration. But your Halloween win, your Halloween.
That's pretty good.
If you will. Oh, did you get the script?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So what we're going to do here is reenact this radio play, and we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be fun. I've got sound effects, I've got music, and from what I hear, this tale has a twist ending, a terrifying twist ending, and I don't know what it is, so I can't wait to find out. So let's just get past the beginning of this.
Has a bed of music.
We'll do that for sure. This has some advertisements at the beginning. They advertise, friends, replace worn out narrow gap spark plugs with a set of those new wide gap auto resistor spark plugs. So it starts with an advertisement because it was for the radio. So I'm trying to find the actual beginning here. And wow, Mark Rayburn just gave us the postage to send Elizabeth the shirt. So Elizabeth, you've got to send that email now. And Mark, you are, I think I said it before, but I'll say it again, an incredible human being. I don't have any happy sounds because this is all Halloween stuff, but...
What about this one that says torture?
No! No! No!
So, Mark, imagine the opposite of that, and that's what we're giving to you. Thank you, Mark. Ninja says, doesn't saying it has a twist ending spoil it?
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. That's like saying if M. Night Shyamalan directs a movie and you know he directed it, doesn't that spoil it?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. And by the way, Ninja is the only other person outside of this family that has one of these t-shirts.
True.
Ninja. So we're going to add one more person to that list. All right, let's start this story. And this story stars a radio DJ. And it's part of an old series called Suspense. So let me start the music. Some royalty-free Halloween music. Here we go.
Ninja, please lace the shirt.
All right, awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Okay, and now, Autolite presents Ralph Edwards in a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. And now I'm playing the radio DJ, Smiley.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't that leave you high, huh? Left me feeling treetop tall. That was Louis Armstrong's I Can't Give You Anything But Love. And that's all for the Hot and Mellow Hour tonight. So that's the end of the show. Yes, this is Smiley Smith, your favorite disc jockey. I hope here at the Hot and Mellow Hour home for the season. I'll be back again tomorrow night, minus the music, but with a little surprise for you. Tomorrow night, Friday night, as you know, is stunt night here at Station WXP, and have I got a stunt for you. Last week, you remember, I planted my wire recorder in the steam room at a lady's Turkish bath and let you listen in on the playback, remember? Let's pause that for a second. The Smiley character is a little creepy, right?
What are you going to hear in there?
Yeah, I guess girls.
They're just sitting in a steam room.
Splashing around. You might hear some of this. All right, but so last week, basically to catch everybody up, Smiley last week, he played the sounds of a Turkish bath. But what's he going to do tomorrow night? Start the music. Well, tonight, as soon as I leave the studio, do you know where I'm going? Your friend Smiley is going to spend the night in a haunted house on a spook hunt. You heard me, a spook hunt in a haunted house. I'm bringing my little wire recorder along with me, and if you tune in tomorrow evening at this time, you'll learn what it's like to spend the night in a haunted house. Ain't that something? A real haunted house, no kidding. 4 people are known to have committed suicide there. So tune in tomorrow night and share a real thrill with your old pal, Smiley I Might Be Crazy Smith. Good night. What do you think of the premise?
It's kind of like being a YouTuber.
This is basically found footage before found footage.
Yeah.
It's found audio.
Audio footage.
Audio footage. So basically, Alon, if you weren't following that, Smiley the DJ, that's me. I'm going to spend the night in a haunted house. And you're all going to hear the audio of what I encountered in my night at the haunted house. Are you feeling scared, Adam?
My bones are rattling.
How about now?
That's a little more comforting. You know, it's kind of nice to have the rain.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I always, when it rains, I love that. I lie in bed, I have one of those, what do you call those windows on the ceiling?
A skylight?
Alon, is that true? He's looking it up. But I can hear the rain hitting the skylight. It just puts me to sleep. I love it.
Skylight or roof light.
All right, there you go. All right, so now it's the next night, and we're going to go to that haunted house and see what happens. Now we've got two characters here, McDonald and Thorpe. So, Adam, you want to be McDonald?
I'll be Thorpe.
Or you'll be Thorpe. Alon, McDonald?
Sure.
It's a lot of... McDonald has a lot of lines.
I'll do it.
That's
okay.
True. All right. Let me start the music. All right, go ahead, McDonald.
All right. Care for a cigar, Mr. Thorpe? I've got some cigars in the dash there.
I should say they're in a car. So McDonald and Thorpe are in a car. McDonald's has just offered Thorpe a cigar.
No.
Well, there's no reason to carry a chip on your shoulder, Mr. Thorpe.
Oh, really? Well, I don't like this fool stunt.
Why? I don't see it as a fool stunt at all. I really don't. I think it's the only way you're going to unload this house. Ordinary selling methods won't work in a case like this. Now, don't forget the reputation saddling this house. 4 suicides since 1939.
Hold on. 4 suicides since 1939. All right, go on.
You know what people call it? The death trap.
The death trap.
Yes, it's a lot of nonsense.
Sure, but try to convince people of that. Anyway, when this disc jockey...
That's me.
Smiley. This disc jockey offered me the chance to kill all these rumors about the about the property. Naturally, I jumped and took him up on it, especially since it didn't cost a cent.
So just to clarify, basically what's going on here is Thorpe and McDonald, they want to sell this house, but they can't because people call it the death trap. But they agreed to let me, the disc jockey, spend the night there so I can prove there's nothing to worry about. There are no ghosts. So that way they can sell the house. Right?
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
It reminds me of that Nathan For You episode with the ghost realtor.
You know what an incubus is? Nathan For You, great show. And by the way, when somebody else is reading the script, I have a tendency to just move my lips. I'm trying really hard not to. All right, so McDonald has just said, I jumped on the chance to have this radio DJ spend the night there, and then Thorpe responds.
You sure about that? I'm not liable for a penny?
Not a cent. We're doing him a favor letting him use the place, he said. Thanked me for the chance last night when I drove him out here. So one hand washes the other, as the feller said. He gets a chance to pull off a stunt, and the wire recording will prove to people that the property is a number one. Yeah, I got it. A number one. And we increase the chance of selling the place.
Wire recording. What is that?
Well, I'm going to be wearing a wire. And I'm going to record everything that happens in this haunted house.
Well, as long as it don't cost me anything.
Not a thing. He's using his own recorder, and I'm paying for the rental of a couple of walkie-talkies he hooked up to it.
I'm going to use that little Zoom I bought. That portable Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
The one we brought to Japan with us.
Yes.
By the way, in terms of recommendations, Japan. Highly recommend Japan.
Oh, yes.
One of the best trips we ever took.
We plan to go back as soon as we're legally allowed to.
That's right. As soon as... wait, hold on. Give me 1 second. You know what? It's too much work. I'm going to close that tab. Let's get back to it. All right. So what's going on here? Basically, Thorpe is very happy that it's not going to cost anything for me to stay there. I'm using my own recorder. And go ahead, Thorpe.
Well, what about this Reed? Does he charge anything?
He comes gratis, too.
That means free.
Yes.
I took Latin.
Dr. Reed is whatchamacallit, psychic investigator. Belongs to a couple of societies that do nothing but hunt ghosts. He showed me articles he'd written about it in some magazines.
Wouldn't you love to be in one of those societies?
Yes.
All right, go on. The car has stopped.
Sic mundus.
That's right. All right, they've just arrived at the house. Hold on, go ahead.
Well, here's the house. Looks real nice in the sunshine, don't it? Man, smell that sea breeze.
You don't have to sell me. Well, let them know we're here. Meep.
Car horn. Huh? Probably asleep. Up all night.
Whoa, blow up my
car
eardrums. I also like how you made the car horn sound, but Alon still felt the need to say car horn. What's going on here? So we just arrived at the house, and you're beeping the horn. You're trying to wake up the people that are in the house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's in the house? Smile, am I there already? Let's keep reading and find out.
It's convoluted.
Okay, yeah, they're trying. This is what's going on. So I'm in the house. I'm Smiley. I'm in the house right now, and I'm there with Dr. Reed, the psychic guy. All right, go ahead.
I'm Thorpe, aren't I?
That's
Yeah.
right. So
You're saying, well, why don't they come out?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you said your line already.
Well, you were beeping while I was saying it.
Well, why don't they come out? You think they've gone?
I told them last night I'd pick them up around 11. Smith! Hey, Smiley! Dr. Reed!
Beep.
Yeah, fast asleep, I guess. We better go and wake them up.
All right, so we're walking up. Sound of shoes on a wooden porch.
Of course, they may have taken the bus back to town.
Oh, no, it's a 2-mile hike back to the main highway.
I can walk.
Wait, what's going on? Oh no, so okay, here's what's going on. You guys are coming to pick me up,
Yeah.
and you can't find me, so you both just got out of the car.
Yeah. So you spent the night there already, presumably.
Oh, so this is I got it. Okay, so just to explain, for anybody that just joined us, we're doing a radio play called Ghost Hunt. I'm a radio DJ named Smiley. I just spent the night at a haunted house. And now McDonald and Thorpe, they're trying to sell the house. They came the next morning to come get me, and presumably they're going to find the recording of everything that happened. But they're not finding me. I'm gone. So you got out of the car to look for me.
This is like Blair Witch before
That's right.
Blair Witch.
Found footage. So,
All right,
McDonald's.
Yep. Smith! Hey, Smiley, where are you? Wake up!
They're trying to find me. They
You
can't
don't
find me.
suppose, do you?
Oh, no. Smith? Dr. Reed?
What's that, that clicking noise from in there?
And they hear footsteps because that's them walking around. They're trying to find me.
Why, that's his wire recorder. He left it running. These machines cost a lot of money. Doesn't he care if he uses up all his batteries?
Well, where is he? And where is this Reed?
Maybe they're upstairs. Smith! Hey! Anybody home?
So they're trying to find. So Reed is the psychic doctor that was with me.
Well,
We're both missing.
Where are they then? Where are they?
Wait.
It's okay. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't have... Okay. Don't get excited, Mr. Thorpe.
I feel like people that used to use the word excited to being like startled. They don't really do that anymore. Don't get too excited.
You're a little excited right now.
Exactly. All right, keep going. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Don't tell me not to get excited. If something's happened to them in my house, I'm liable.
You try this side, I'll try that one.
All right.
Wait. Opening a door. Hold on. I got one. I got a sound for that. You see it, Adam? Door. There we go.
We got footsteps too.
All right, so you open the door.
Smiley? Smith? Oh, McDonald, come here.
What?
Footsteps running.
Oh no! Reed! Dr. Reed! No, don't touch him! Mr. Thorpe, you'll get your hands all...
Blood! Is he dead?
I can still feel his pulse, but we better get him to a hospital
So
fast.
Dr. Reed, they found him lying on the ground. He's not dead. His heart is beating, but there's blood.
Musical interlude. And a thriller.
Dun, dun, bum, 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 bum. Okay, so we're back. What's going on here?
A one man is pacing back and forth.
They're at the hospital right now. They just brought Dr. Reed to the hospital. Smiley is still not to be found.
Care for a cigar, Mr. Thorpe?
No thanks.
Why not try to relax? The nurse said Reed would be all right as soon as he had a blood transfusion.
You told the radio station to be sure and call us as soon as they had any word about Smith?
Yes, I told them. Why don't you sit down?
Oh, I'm all at 6s and 7s. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What do you suppose happened out there last night?
Well, we're going to know in just a second.
Oh, so they got the recording.
Just as soon as I get this recorder set up.
That's exactly. That's right.
You don't suppose Smith and Reed got into a fight, do you?
There? A fight? I don't know.
That's the recorder. So this is what's happening now. We found the recorder at the haunted house after I, Smiley, the radio DJ, spent a night there. We're going to listen to the recording and find out what the hell happened. All right. So I guess we'll go to the recording. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. All set, Dr. Reed? Mr. McDonald? Okay, here we go. This is Smiley Smith speaking. Smiley Smith, the ghost hunter. I don't know whether to hope if this will turn out to be a success for the sake of the program, or a failure for my own sake. Anyway, all of the preparations have been made now, and it's up to the spooks. I'd better tell you where we are. Right now, we are standing on the lawn of a house about 12 miles above Malibu Beach. The ocean is 100 feet away, straight down. The house is perched on a cliff, and there's a sheer drop of about 100 feet right into the old Pacific. Maybe you can hear the surf pounding. I'll turn up the volume. Hear it? Now I'm going to have you meet two gentlemen who are here with me. Incidentally, we are the only people around for miles and miles. First, I'd like you to meet Dr. Clarence Reed of the British and American Psychical Research Guild. Dr. Reed is a famous investigator of psychic phenomena, and I'm very honored to be associated with him on this ghost hunt. He's smiling in an embarrassed sort of way.
You're much too kind, Mr. Smith.
Pause for a second. 6s and 7s is an English idiom. It means confused. Huh. Thank you, Ninja. And Fiddle Griddle says, sup, boys? Well, Fiddle Griddle, and anyone else who just joined us, we're in the midst of a creepy radio play. Long story short, I'm a radio DJ who spent the night at a haunted house, and I went missing. We just found the recording. We're going to find out what happened at that haunted house.
This could very well be the first found footage content ever.
This beat
developed
Blair Witch by about 50 years.
Yeah.
This is 1949. My grandfather wrote this. You can't prove that that's not true. All right, back to the show.
Where are we?
You're right here. So you just said, I just introduced Dr. Reed, who was with me. You're much too kind.
I said that.
You said that already. Dr. Reed has conducted experiments in this field with such great believers in spiritualism as Oliver Lodge and Arthur Conan Doyle. He looks a bit like Santa Claus. He's short, stocky. You don't object, do you, Dr. Reed?
No, indeed.
And he has a magnificent white beard, a truly great beaver. Dr. Reed is so enthusiastic about ghost hunting that he got out of his sick bed this evening to be with us.
So he just lives in the bed?
Man, it's coughing all over me.
Excuse me, my lungs. I was gassed in the First World War.
Well, now I feel
it's
bad
not
for
funny
making
anymore.
fun of him.
He's
Yeah,
like
that's not funny.
he's a veteran.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what side he was on.
That's true.
Oh, he's British though. He's on.
That's true. So I apologize, Dr. Reed. Well, anyway, Dr. Reed and I are here on the lawn looking at the house. Can't see much. It's around 11 p.m. Seems to be a rambling sort of house, 2 stories high. It looks like the house from The Shining. Since it was built, there have been 4 suicides here. Is that right? Oh, McDonald.
That's right.
Now into the mic now, Alon. McDonald.
4 suicides since 1939.
I better tell them who you are so they think you're a ghost. So they don't think you're a ghost. Standing with the doc and me is a real estate agent, Mr. Charles McDonald. He handles this property and he can tell you a lot more about it than I can.
Well, the house was built by a man named Toby Martin, an orange grower. Built the house as a wedding present for his wife. A month after they moved in, she took her own life. On the day of her funeral, he committed suicide the same way. There have been 2 other cases since then, and
Did they all jump into the ocean?
Yeah, all 4 of them, right over there. The last one was actually seen doing it about 3 years ago. He was seen running like all get out toward the edge of the cliff, and
That must be an old saying. He was running like all get out.
I've heard that.
You've heard that?
Yeah.
Jordan Peele, Get Out.
He was seen running like all get out toward the edge of the cliff, and he was shouting and laughing and yelling.
No,
As
the
though
laughing makes it creepy.
Hold on 1 second. All right.
And he was shouting and laughing and yelling as though there were people beside running right along with him.
You kidding?
No, it's a fact. He was laughing and yelling and running, and when he got to the edge, right over there, he jumped and never came above water.
2 things that are creepy.
Right.
Laughing
break
when
it
it's
down.
inappropriate, and any kind of like self-harm, self-mutilation, or suicide.
And what we're saying happened here, haunted house. Basically, somebody built it for their wife, and then she committed suicide. And then he committed suicide, all by jumping off the cliff near the house.
Yes.
Last person was actually seen doing it, and he was laughing like a maniacal maniac on his way to the cliff and jumped over.
Maniacal maniac.
As good an argument against cold baths as I've ever heard.
Since then, people just refuse to live in this house. Silly, I call it. Anyway, if you and Dr. Reed find any sign of a spook, I'll get the owner to pull the house down and rebuild. But if you don't find anything, I'm hoping this will convince folks that here's a real buy. Well, okay, Mr. Smith. You and the doctor are on your own. I'll be by in the morning to pick you up around 11.
All right, so you and me. Until 11, tomorrow morning, it's just you and me here.
All right.
Okay? Goodbye, Mr. McDonald. I hope there's something left for you to pick up in the morning. Well, it's almost pitch black, folks. I guess Dr. Reed and I ought to begin. I don't believe in ghosts, never have. But what I say is this. If you're dead set on looking for them, this is a dandy place to do it. Sound of the car driving away. So long, Mr. McDonald. He just checked out, and then there were 2. Well, 3. Oh, my dog. Oh, yeah, folks. I have my dog, Jeff, with me. He's a wire-haired terrier. He's 3 years old, and he can talk. Say hello, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. Say hello. Come on. Well, anyway, he's a wire-haired terrier, and he's 3 years old. Should we go inside now, Dr. Reed?
I was about to suggest it.
Now, how do we hunt ghosts, Doctor? How do we do it, huh?
All right, we're walking in.
We're walking in now.
We don't really hunt them. If there should be any in the house, they will come to us.
How cozy.
And please, not ghosts. Do not refer to them as ghosts. We know them as apparitions.
Apparitions, I'll remember. I've no desire to hurt their feelings. Where ghosts are concerned, I say live and let live. It's pretty funny, so I want to get some laughter in there. All right, so I'll open the front door. Well, we've opened the front door now. Maybe you heard the hinge squeak a little bit. Now we're standing here looking in. Can't see much. Smells sort of musty and damp. The dog's whining. What's the matter, Jeff? What's the matter, boy? Jeff! Ah, come on now, come on. My dog seems to object to entering this house. He has all 4 feet braced, and he's straining against the leash.
Perhaps he senses something we don't.
Like apparitions, maybe.
Yes, it's not unusual. Animals lack the veneer of sophistications we humans possess. They are more sensitive to such emanations.
What's emanations mean?
Something that emanates.
What's emanate mean? I can hear Lon typing. He's looking it up.
To come out of. And
Emanation is an abstract but perceptible thing that issues or originates from a source.
Yeah.
So something that came from something else.
Yeah.
Alon, is it possible to put on a black and white filter, make us black and white, while we're doing this story?
Let me investigate.
Wouldn't that add to the vibe a little bit? And for those of you just joining us, we're in the midst of a creepy radio play. Adam is Dr. Reed. He's a psychic, basically. He hunts ghosts. I'm a radio DJ.
Apparitions.
Apparitions, that's right. And he's helping me investigate this haunted house. And my dog, Jeff, really does not want to go in there. We're going to force him in, though, I think.
I'm just going to grab a refill. I don't have
All right.
lines for a bit.
Okay, so I'm on my own now. Well, he's with me, but he's just not talking yet. Yeah, well, come on, Jeff, stop this nonsense. He probably smells a mouse or a rat or something. Come on, Jeff, we're going in whether you like it or not. See, I told you we were going to force him in. The dog's barking loudly and whining. He doesn't want to go in. There's a short entrance hall, and over there at the end of it is a flight of stairs leading to the second floor. Jeff, come on, calm down. That's my dog. Won't stop barking. And over here to the left is what seems to be a large reception room. We're entering this large room now. There are windows over there, French windows, and through them I can see the ocean. If you go into a haunted house, you know where you don't want to go? The reception room. Because when I think reception room, what do I think of, Adam?
Ghosts.
The Shining.
Oh, with all the blood?
The bartender.
Oh, no.
The reception room is like a ballroom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think of the bartender and all the ghosts there for a party. All right, so we've walked into the reception room. The electricity hasn't been turned on, so all I have to see by is a flashlight. Not a very powerful one at that. Why didn't I bring a better flashlight? They always do that in horror movies.
It was the 40s.
It's true, that's true. Not a very powerful one at that. Dr. Reed is now adjusting his walkie-talkie. It's hooked up to my recorder so he can cut in while he's hunting and tell us what he's found. Here's a few words from Doc before he sets forth on his investigation through the house.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Smith has introduced me as a ghost hunter. He spoke, I think, in a spirit of skepticism and levity. I'd like to assure you all that my purposes here are serious. I have spent my entire life seeking reliable proof of the appearances of apparitions.
Have you ever seen any, ever?
I have seen phenomena which leads me to believe in the possibility of their existence.
That's a lot of caveats there.
Qualifications.
I believe in the possibility. It's you're perfect for this role.
I do, yeah.
Is you do a
I
lot
like
of
to
qualifications.
hedge. Although I've never seen any. I count myself sensitive to the... This is like how I say I'm a super smeller.
That's right. Adam does say that he can smell anything from anywhere.
At any time.
That's right.
I count myself sensitive to the evidence of their existence. This house, for example, affects me profoundly. It doesn't seem to affect you in the same way.
I'm not too happy about all this, if that's what you mean.
You are not a psychic, and therefore not sensitive to these matters as I am. I imagine the question that is in the minds of those of you listening to us is, shall we find apparitions? I don't know, but I feel they are here, and that they are evil. I sense danger. I shall soon know.
Well, Dr. Reed's leaving the room now, going to make a tour of the house. First thing I'm going to do is open the windows and let some fresh air in. Ah, feels better already. Cooler anyway. I know that... Ah! What was that? A bat? A bat just flew into the room. I think it was a bat and not a bird. I didn't actually see it, just it's a shadow as it fanned my face. There it is again. It touched me as it passed. Now my dog's barking again. Jeff, come back here. Jeff, you fool dog. Come back here. Dr. Reed. Dr. Reed. Dr. Reed. Now we have a commercial. For suspense, Autolite is bringing you Mr. Ralph Edwards in radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Suspense. What is this, Alon? I think this is a commercial right here, right?
I'm trying to figure out black and white.
Oh, just forget about the black and white. Not worth it. So for those of you that was a commercial right there. I'm not going to read all that. For those of you just joining us, we're about halfway through a radio play. Me and Dr. Reed, I'm a radio DJ named Smiley. Dr. Reed is a psychic doctor I brought with me, and we're investigating a haunted house. Dr. Reed just went off on his own. My dog just abandoned me, so I'm alone. I'm freaked out. All right? And I'm yelling for my dog and for Dr. Reed. But Adam has left us. I'm going to wait for him to come back.
I got the black and white.
You did?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. And Ninja in the chat says, I don't have a good vibe about Dr. Reed. Neither do I. First off, he's smug. He's like, I know you don't believe in ghosts, Smiley, but I happen to believe in them. Well, have you ever seen one, Dr. Reed? And then he says, well, I've never seen one, but I have a feeling they exist, and I'm pretty sure they're here, and they're evil. What about you, Alon? Do ghosts exist? Are they real?
Yes.
Are you saying what you think I want to hear, or are you telling the truth?
Maybe.
If you're in the chat and you're following along this story, I want to know what you think. Do you believe in apparitions, ghosts, and ghouls? Or are you a skeptic like Alun here? I actually, when I was younger, I very much believed in ghosts and ghouls. I remember specifically when I was about, I think 3 or 4 years old. I woke up in the middle of the night and I had to use the bathroom. I was old enough not to wet my bed at the time. I was mature enough. So I get out of my bed, and for some reason, before using the restroom, I'm 4 years old, remember, I feel the need to tell my mother that I woke in the middle of the night. So I go down the hallway to her room. But at the time, Adam, who you saw earlier, was just a baby in a crib. And between me and my mother's bed was that crib. And seeing my baby brother, I didn't want to make too much noise. I didn't want to wake my mother. But every step, there was a creak. So I had to walk very slowly. And then suddenly I was too afraid to move because I didn't want to creak the floorboards and wake my mother. So I started saying, "Mom, Mom," tried to wake her up. And she didn't hear me. But right by her bed was a window and the blinds were closed. And I see my shadow on that window. Suddenly, my shadow starts to move of its own volition. Me, a 4-year-old boy, I was standing still, but my shadow was moving. It was dancing, kind of like this. I was terrified. So terrified I couldn't move. I was frozen in fear. Until finally I ran back to my bed. I don't even think I used the bathroom, but I still didn't wet the bed. That's the self-control I had, even as a 4-year-old. And for years, I believed the haunted shadow watched me. That happened. I remember that. It was probably a dream, but for years I believed it actually happened. No chewing by the microphone.
That's all right.
Ninja in the chat, by the way, said ghosts are real and they are. Hold on, I can't read that.
Yeah,
that's inappropriate. That's funny
it's
though.
Funny though.
Hold on, Ninja. For that, you get this.
Those are succubuses.
Okay, ready?
Right?
That's for Ninja. And then this is my reaction to that sentence.
I'm impressed with your bladder control.
Thank you. And I was only 4.
Your bladder's only gotten worse since then.
And hold on, wait, let me react to that. I don't know what that means. All right, let's get back to the story. So when we last left Smiley, Dr. Reed left me alone. Okay, I'm in the reception room. Dr. Reed left to go investigate the house. My dog got freaked out. Jeff, he ran away. So I'm alone and I'm calling for my dog. I'm calling for Dr. Reed. Jeff, come back here. Jeff, you fool, a dog, come back here. Dr. Reed. Now the walkie-talkie turns on and Reed speaks.
Reed speaking. What is it, Smith?
Jeff has run, my dog. He jumped through the window and ran off.
Oh, well, so? I told you he sensed something about this house, didn't I?
Yeah, you want to come and see if you can determine what it was exactly that set him off?
Soon. I'm making my way slowly up the stairs toward the second floor now. I'm halfway up. I'll be down with you soon.
Well, folks, my dog's run away. You probably heard him howling. He jumped through the window and took off. Never did anything like that before. Frightened by the bat, I guess. Personally, alone here in this big room, I can understand how he must have felt. This isn't a cheerful spot by any means. I may not be psychic, but I sure have a feeling this house does not want us here.
Read again. Excuse me. I have something of great interest to report. I am now standing in an alcove on the second floor, trying to recover my breath. As I reached the head of the stairs, I felt what I think is a definite psychic manifestation. I felt suddenly as though I had been punched in the solar plexus.
Pause. Adam, your medical knowledge, what is a solar plexus?
Right here.
Ooh, you don't want to get punched there.
Nah.
It's by your heart.
Yeah, and your lungs. That's the only way I can describe it. At the same time, I began to perspire. Now my head is still swimming slightly. I have difficulty in swallowing. My pulse rate is around 110 at the minute. The sense of evil is very strong. I feel very, what shall I say, profoundly depressed.
You think of what I'm thinking, Adam?
He's depressed.
A bat shows up. You start sweating. Your heart starts racing. Coronavirus.
Ooh.
Boo.
Ooh. We don't like coronavirus.
I don't like it. So all of a sudden, Reed's feeling depressed and sweaty. You want me up there?
No, I prefer to remain up here alone. The presence of a disbeliever such as you might interfere with my investigation.
Derogatory. You disbeliever. That's why I don't like Dr. Reed. I agree with Ninja here. Folks, I'd like you to get a picture of what it's like here. Very quiet for one thing. I've never been in such a quiet place. Starring
I haven't seen it.
John Krasinski.
Oh.
And I forget her name. It slips my mind.
His
Hold
wife.
on. That's right.
Pam.
His wife's name is Scott Beck. No, it's not. I thought that was going to get laughs. Emily Blunt, of course. Anyway, let's get back to it. Very quiet for one thing. I've never been in such a quiet place. And it's pretty dark. No light except for my flashlight. Tell you what. You go now and douse all the lights you have on. Go ahead, put out the lights. And that will give you a clearer feeling of how it is here with me. Go ahead, put the lights out. Talking to you, Elizabeth, Ninja, Fiddle Griddle, Mark, everybody watching this right now, I want you to turn out the lights so you can feel what we're feeling right now. Spooky, freaked out. All right, here we go. Squeaking sound. Hey, did you hear that? Real estate agent told me I'd probably hear rats and mice in the walls. Well, I can certainly hear them now. Even you can hear them, I think. It's as though...
Dr. Reed speaking. I've been working my way toward the front room, the one directly above the one in which Mr. Smith is in now. Now, the vibrations have become stronger, more and more pronounced as I approach it. I think I'm on the verge of an important discovery.
Important discovery. Did you all get that? Now I can hear Dr. Reed moving about in the room above. I don't suppose you can. Have a try anyway, huh? You hear him? Hold on, let's get some footsteps going. You hear Dr. Reed? You hear that? I hope he finishes his investigation soon because, quite frankly, I'd like to get out of here. I can well imagine people becoming unhinged in a place like this. Right now, I find myself pretty jumpy. Not being very brave, am I? It's being alone in this room down here that does it. It's this darned old house. I mean, you know, the atmosphere is so very...
I wish only to make this hurried report before continuing with the investigation in this room. I have carefully sounded out all the parts of this room, and the emanations are most strong from what appears to be the closet, before which I am now standing. As soon as I open the door to this closet, I will have, I think, a thing of great interest to communicate. I find no key to the lock, and so I will attempt to remove the hinges with my penknife, and I will tell you what I find when I open it.
This is really the perfect role for you, because you're very handy. Like, if you approached a closet door and it was locked, how would you open it?
I'd take it off the... Well, I'd first try to kick it down because I always wanted to try doing that.
Right.
But if I couldn't do that, I'd take it off.
Exactly like Dr. Reed's doing. Okay, so this is a big moment now. Dr. Reed has found a closet. Inside, he expects to find a big discovery. And I'm talking to him. I'll tell you what it would cost to get me to open that door. In the basement of Fort Knox... Oh, there's that bat again! It seems to like me, the way it keeps... Each time it passes, it touches my face or my neck with its wings. Smelly things, bats. I don't suppose they bathe very often, after all, if at all. I wonder how... Get out! Get away, you bat! That bat'll be the death of me. Hey, it's like a jingle, isn't it? Bat'll be the death of me. The death of me, the death of me. Bat'll be the death of me. It isn't far from London. No, that isn't the way it goes. Come down to Q in lilac time. In lilac time. Come down to Q in lilac time, for it isn't Boy, I haven't thought of that since I was a kid in grammar school. Gee, I had a lonely childhood when you come right down to it. I was born to play this role. Kind of feels like he's losing his mind. I had a lonely childhood when you come right down to it. I mean, well, that's my affair, isn't it? Yes, it is. It certainly is.
I have succeeded in removing the hinges to the door, and I find inside that it is not a closet but much larger. It is, I think, a dressing room. I have not yet been inside, but I'm about to enter. It's just a walk-in closet.
It's freaky. The closet was bigger than he expected. What was I talking about? Oh, yes, bats. Well, the bat flying back and forth in this room... Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Dr. Reed must have knocked something over in the dressing room. A chair, huh? Yeah, a chair. A heavy chair by the sound of it. This chair, or whatever it was, must have fallen right over my head. That's the way it sounded. I can see a small stain forming on the ceiling right over my head. Something ran across my foot just then. A rat, I think it was. I have always hated rats. Most people do, of course. That stain up there bothers me. It has gotten so big, so soon. I think I'll take a chance and bother Reed and ask him what it is. Dr. Reed, can you hear me? Are you all right? Hello? Well, he didn't answer. I think he's just a little bit deaf. Think so. What do you suppose he's found, huh? I'm afraid this is rather dull for you listeners. I'm not finding it so, of course. There! I heard him cough. Did you hear that cough? I hope he's all right. He got out of a sick bed to come here this evening, you know. He was gassed during the First World War, and this place is starting to get on my nerves just a wee bit, just a teensy-weensy bit.
Reed, speaking.
Hello. He's switched off. That's a bad cough he's got. I feel so lonely. Been alone so much of my life. Not so much now, of course. But when I was younger, I was alone so much of the time. You know, struggling to get ahead, living in a hall bedroom, wondering where my next meal was coming from. I get the blues just remembering it. Seems sad, young people having to spend so much time alone. Sad for old people too, of course. I'm saying of course a lot. Of course I am. Hey, that stain on the ceiling, it's grown amazingly. It's actually beginning to drip. I mean, form bubbles. They'll start dropping soon. Colored bubbles, they seem to be. Odd-shaped stain, like a body lying on its back with his arms stretched out. It's cheerful. I'll certainly advise Mr. McDonald to have this place torn down. I'll go upstairs in a minute or two to see how Dr. Reed is making out. You know, listeners, I really believe I'd go completely crazy if I had to stay here much longer. It wears you down. That's exactly what it does. It wears you down. It's so close and musty in here, I feel sort of trapped. Don't know why I said that. That's what they call this place, you know, the death trap. There, what did I tell you? That stain started to drip drop, drip drop, drip drop. I'll catch the next one in my hand and let you know. Reed! Dr. Reed! We hear Dr. Reed running. I'm going upstairs now, listeners. I'm afraid something happened to Dr. Reed. I'm not kidding now. I mean this on the level. Which room could it be now? Right? Left? No, right. This is it, I think. Opening the door. Well, evening, gentlemen and madam. I'm so glad to see you. I was just aching to see somebody. Anybody. I've been so lonely down there. Now, what have you done with the doctor, huh? I know he's been hurt. See the color of the bubble in my hand? What have you done with him? What's going on here?
Things are getting crazy.
So I went upstairs to find Dr. Reed. I opened the door.
I think you're talking to people.
I see a man and a woman in there.
Yeah.
Creepy.
But you're so desperate to have someone to talk to, you don't even question it.
At least I'm not alone anymore. Make way, gentlemen, please, make way. Well, this isn't the funniest damn thing. This can't be Dr. Reed lying here. He didn't have a red beard. Now, don't crowd me, gentlemen. Don't crowd me, please. Huh? You want me to go where with you? You want me to do what? Speak up, gentlemen. To the cliffs? Down to the cliffs. You mean right now? Well, all right. If you'll come with me, I don't want to be alone anymore. You will come with me, all of you, all 4 of you. You too, ma'am. Oh, good. Come on, then. To the cliffs. To the cliffs. To the cliffs. To the. That's the end of the tape. And so now Thorpe and. What was the other guy? McDonald were listening to the tape. They heard me screaming to the cliff. Then the tape ran
we're
out.
at the hospital, right?
Back at the hospital. Thorpe is reacting to the recording he heard.
He jumped over the cliff. He jumped over the cliff. McDonald. He jumped over the cliff.
I'll be the nurse. Mr. McDonald, Mr. Thorpe, you may come in to see Dr. Reed now.
What?
Dr. Reed is conscious. You may see him now.
Is he able to talk?
Just for a few minutes. In here.
Come in. Come in, gentlemen.
Hold on, why don't you become Thorpe?
Sure.
So just to catch everybody up. So I stayed in a haunted house with Dr. Reed. The next morning, they found Dr. Reed lying there, bloody. He's still alive. They didn't find me. They found this recording, which they listened to, and it sounds like I went crazy and jumped off the cliff. Dr. Reed has just woken up. We're going to talk to him and see if we can figure out what the heck happened there. So you're Dr. Reed, Alun is Thorpe, and I'll be McDonald. So start back from come in, gentlemen.
Come in, gentlemen.
How are you, Dr. Reed?
We've been waiting to see you.
Yes, and I must apologize, gentlemen. I had a most unfortunate accident. Hemorrhage.
A hemorrhage?
Yes, my lungs, you know. Now, gentlemen.
Hemorrhage? Dr. Reed, what happened in that house? What happened to Smith? We've just been listening to a playback of the recordings you made out there.
Smith, isn't he with you?
We've just heard the recording, Dr. Reed. Smith jumped over the cliff into the ocean.
Oh, that poor boy.
Dr. Reed, will you please tell us what happened? From what we heard on the recording, there were ghosts in that house.
Ghosts? I didn't hear any ghosts.
As if he's about to say, no, they're apparitions.
Well, we got the music back. Hold on. But Smith, what about him?
If he went over the cliff, it was fear that drove him over.
But...
Gentlemen, I didn't see any ghosts. As for that unfortunate young man, who can say now? What he saw or thought he saw?
Suddenly
That's the
he's
end.
a skeptic.
That's right. That's where we wrap up. Because then we get to the end where now this is a radio play.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Ralph Edwards is the voice actor who originally played Smile. Thank you, Ralph Edwards, for displaying your versatility by appearing as a guest star on Suspense.
Hey, hello, that Edwards does everything.
Uh-huh, Hap?
Huh?
No, does. Don't use that word on our Autolite show. I can't make heads or tails of this one.
I don't know what's going on now. I guess is this like scripted?
I'm all
mixture?
6s and 7s.
Nice.
Nice. No, now it gets back into, apparently this radio broadcast was brought to you by Autolite, a likely now defunct auto store.
Get in the zone.
AutoZone. What'd you think of that? That was a great story, I thought.
It is creepy to think about just like being persuaded by these groups of hallucinations or ghosts or something to just jump off the cliff.
And he said there were 4 ghosts. That's probably the 4
so you
people.
get added to the group. So now he's going to eventually one day someone's going to show up and he's going to be among the ghosts that convinces them to jump off the cliff.
It'll be what confused me though is there were 4 ghosts. He was 4 gentlemen. And he's like, yes, and you too, ma'am. Who is she? The guy's wife, right? But I thought only 4 people committed suicide there, and it sounded like...
Back then, not everyone was considered a person.
Boo! And Ninja says, round of applause. Very well read, guys. Thank you, Ninja.
So, Autolite, founded in 1911.
He's always on top of it.
It's still around.
Really?
But it's not like a standalone company. It looks like Honeywell owned them at one point and may have gotten them back. Can't tell yet.
Can you get the phone number for Autolite? Let's give them a call right now.
See what they think about this.
Yeah, on it.
And actually, by the way, if anybody wants to, let's throw the offer out there. If anybody wants to call in with your favorite Halloween costume you ever wore, or just a fun Halloween anecdote.
Yeah, we do have a Zoom link.
Or we could do the old OneTake phone number.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that phone number, Alon?
It was OneTake.
It was like 619 OneTake, I think. Hold on, let me get this
They're
right.
part of the Fram Group IP LLC. Autolite.
Oh, you're still talking about Autolite. Nice.
No, that's the last thing. We're done.
All right, here, I'm just gonna try this and see what happens. What I'm gonna do is paste into the chat a Zoom link. Everybody knows Zoom nowadays, right? And if you want to come in and talk about your favorite Halloween story or your favorite Halloween anecdote, best costume you ever wore, then come on in and we can chat for a minute and see what happens. And what did you think of the radio play? Did you enjoy playing the part of Dr. Reed?
Yeah. And I like doing an old man voice.
You love doing the old man voice. You always do that. Even when we did, we used to have a podcast called Gil Reads Comics. And for last year's Halloween special, we did a very similar thing where we pulled up some old public domain Halloween comics, horror comics, and we read it out loud. We showed all the images. What the heck is that? Oh, that's, yeah, that looks really creepy, actually. There's a ghost behind us. Adam did the old man voice like he always does. He's very good at the old man voice. Dude, the effect of Night of the Living Dead playing behind us.
That's no longer Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, what is this now?
I hope it's okay, copyright-wise. This movie, The City of the Dead from 1960.
Ooh, that sounds creepy.
Yeah, it was on autoplay.
Ciudad de los Muertos.
Espinosa del Diablo.
Oh, Devil's Backbone.
Devil's Backbone.
Pan's Labyrinth.
El Laberinto del Fauno. Old man voice.
Yeah, you're really good at it.
I don't want to be a burden.
I got a short fuse. All right, clearly we're getting loopy. We'll keep the Zoom open, see if anybody calls in and wants to talk Halloween. Your accents need work, though. Well, to be fair, I didn't do an accent, so you can comment on his accent.
I didn't know that I'd have to maintain it for the whole time. I didn't know what a central character that guy would be.
I think for me, every once in a while, I can pull off a decent accent, but not consistently enough that I would bust it out for the OneTake Halloween Spooktacular.
Fair enough.
For which I am the master of scaremonies.
I came up with that.
All right, I think maybe we should start. Are we winding down, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look sleepy, I can tell.
I had a few minutes of adrenaline because the story scared me. And now I'm worn out.
Well, I think as we start to wind down, I want to... No, not yours, Gil with one... That's right. Gil with one L. That's right.
Oh.
I enjoyed doing the radio play. I think we should do that again sometime.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun.
And we're doing... This is our second live stream in like the last week, right? We're trying to live stream more often, expand the scope of this channel. So please subscribe so you find out next time we go live and you can actually participate.
That's right. What you're going to want to do is hit the like button. If you hit the like button, you're a great person. Then if you hit the subscribe button, you're an amazing person. If you hit the bell icon too, so you get notified the next time we do a video or the next time we go live, do you know what that means? It means you're an incredible human being on the level of Dr. Manhattan. If you've ever seen Watchmen or read the comic book, you're an incredible person. So you're going to want to hit that bell icon. Elizabeth says she was subscribed already, and I could tell because she's an incredible human being.
That's right.
So that she must be a subscriber. So with that, Adam, what are your Halloween well wishes to these people?
I wish everyone has a spooky yet safe Halloween.
Me too. Alon, what about you?
I forget the question.
I don't even know what I'm.
What kind of Halloween? What kind of Halloween do you want people to have?
Spooky.
A good
I said
one.
that it has to be.
Here,
unique.
let's just end on this. Hold on. What's going on, Adam? What is this? So, this is the wrap-up song. Thank you, everybody, for joining. This was a lot of fun. Halloween party. Now I'm going to start eating some candy. We got some Trader Joe's, brought to you by Trader Joe's. Milk chocolate peanut butter cups. They're not Reese's, but they'll get the job done.
And last but not least, Trader Joe's, the original honey roasted peanuts,
which we're going to be mixing with candy corn or chicken feed later on. See what that tastes like. If you go to Trader Joe's, let them know OneTake sent you. You won't get any discounts, but you will get a very confused look, probably. I gotta say, this does not sound like Monster Mash.
No, not at all.
Supposed to be. Hold on, I want to hear Monster Mash.
Maybe you have to skip ahead. Oh, it's already almost over.
This is the Munsters theme song. All right, let's do the wrap up again.
Gil, what kind of Halloween do you wish our viewers?
Well, I want them to have a spooky Halloween, but not too spooky. I want them to have a good time and laugh, cry, scream. I want them to have some candy.
Tell everyone about the time you wanted to play Monster Mash at that party.
That's kind of a bummer story, though, right?
But this is your redemption because now you're playing it.
That's right. I'll tell the story. I was working in the lab. Basically, like I said earlier in this live stream, Halloween is bar none my favorite holiday of all time. I love Halloween. Years ago, Alun and I went to a Halloween party, and I have to say it was disappointing because there was no Halloween spirit. People were wearing costumes, they were doing lip service to the holiday, but there were very few Halloween decorations, and the music was not Halloween themed whatsoever. Being my favorite holiday, Alun looked over at me and he said, I cannot allow this to happen. I can't let Gil be disappointed on his most favorite of holidays. So when nobody was looking, he went to the radio and he pulled out the iPad and turned on Monster Mash. And suddenly everybody quieted down, looked over at the radio, and they heard this. They heard the Monster Mash. And what happened, Adam? Everyone heard Monster Mash at this Halloween party. Gil and Alun brought life to this dying Halloween party. Everyone looked at us and they said, what the hell is this crap? It's not even Halloween anymore. It's after midnight. And they turned off the song. And I said, it's 10 p.m. It's still Halloween. And I want to hear Monster Mash. And they wouldn't let us put it back on. So this is our redemption. We have our own Halloween party where we're going to hear Monster Mash. I'm kind of getting why they wanted to turn it off now. Anyway, with that, folks, thank you so much for joining us. Mark says, take it easy, dudes. Elizabeth says, take care all, stay safe. Jimmy Fallon apparently did a good Monster Mash this year. We got to look that up. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for making this a Halloween to remember. And have a good night. Have a stay safe, but stay spooky. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next OneTake.